I am all dressed up, but I know where to go. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
You look so snazzy today.
You know what? I feel snazzy today. I'm going to say 3 sets of clothes in my closet. I don't really know what I mean. It could be 50. It could be one stupid one. But I have hey, that guy dresses all snazzy. Hence today, the pink sports coat. I have those zebra skin shoes. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the world or a good portion of the world is just jeans and different T-shirts with pictures of John Lennon on them because my wife dresses me. And then I have the I'm down and dirty, but I don't have a style. They're like, oh, Danny's coming to work today. He'll look like our boss mostly looks a certain way.
Yeah.
Paul probably mostly looks a certain way. He wears the hat. He wears the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Paul's in Paul's suit right now. I think I'm jumping back. I have no identity. That's the problem. I have no identity. I think I'm a golfer, which would explain this jacket.
We talked about this a bit yesterday. I really wanted you to embrace golf so you could wear the cool outfits.
Yeah, me too. Well, a wise man, possibly Paul, said to me, you don't have to golf to wear the outfits. Of course, that could also have been you. I don't know. Somebody tells me. There's voices in my head, and they're familiar to me. And I would like that. I don't like the stupid Scottish hat with the ball on top.
Yeah.
I would leave that one off.
Like the cush ball or whatever that thing is. Do you remember? I don't know if you guys are old enough. Do you remember when Rosie O'Donnell was the queen of nice?
No, not really.
She
I
had a
remember her
daytime
being
talk
kinda
show,
mean.
and that's what she was built. No, she couldn't have
She
been
was the
more.
Queen of
That was her
Nice?
name. If you looked up Queen of Nice right now, it'll come up Rosie O'Donnell. If you do Queen of Mean, that Helmsley lady will come up.
Yeah.
Queen of Nice, immediately Rosie O'Donnell. And that was how she made her money. Guests couldn't come on, she'd be sweet. And then, and here's why I brought this up, because I was talking about the cush ball on top of a Scottish golfer's head.
Right.
That going into the breaks on her TV show, she had this, it was a game with rubber bands, and she would launch them into the audience. And I would think, you're going to put somebody's eye out with these crazy things. So I was on the show, and that's when I noticed, because the Queen of Nice thing is kind of fun, and it was against Jerry Springer and Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yeah.
It's like alternate broadcasting. You want to see some celebrities interviewed, some recipes, you watch the Queen of Nice, the Rosie O'Donnell show. So I'm sitting there and, hi, Rosie, let's talk about nice things. And she'd say, hi, Danny, let's talk about nice things. And we'd go into the commercial and she'd shoot the cush balls into the audience. And then she would turn like a snake.
Oh.
And the thing is, she wouldn't hide it. There's 150 people audience. The second they went to break and the last cush ball landed in somebody's eye, she would start screaming at people right on the set.
Oh, wow.
And I thought to myself that this is deeply entrenched behavior. This isn't a thing she's doing today. This is, it took guts to be that mean and that loud to that poor crew member or whatever it was. I said, this is going to come out. And then a week later, after I was on the show, she interviewed Tom Selleck. Anybody remember that?
No.
Worst thing ever. Went in his headlines, the head of all, like big stories in regular newspapers, but Variety and stuff went, has Rosie O'Donnell lost her mind? What'd she do to Tom Selleck? And it started like this. So you endorse guns, don't you, Mr. Selleck? Yeah, I'm an avid hunter. And he goes to tell a story about it being a celebrity. He can't figure out why and she goes after him and how he could raise kids in this world with guns, doesn't even feel responsible for murders. And I mean, she literally went after him, but he didn't leave, and he was a pro the whole time. The next day, she was essentially ruined. And then after 5-7 years, something like that, people went, hey, there's a market for that. Let's turn Rosie O'Donnell loose on people. Yeah. And that's what she tried to do on The View and had a good run, made a couple of $1 million. But after a while, they said, no, we can't do this with you. And your cush ball can bite me. Don't shoot that around here. So,
she did wear that ugly hat.
Which ugly hat?
With the balls on top of her head. She wore the jaunty hat for a while.
No.
No? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
not
when
on
she was
TV,
golfing in Scotland.
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe, I don't know what she wore on her head, but I'm talking about a cush. It's a toy. You shoot it. It's like almost like a slingshot for children, and it shoots these little animal-looking things that are made by this kind of like the same principle as a Nerf gun.
Gotcha.
Like that. So she'd shoot that into the audience. And then they turned her loose on people to be mean and horrible, and it totally worked. Her real nature paid the rent for a little while, and that's when even Barbara Walters, who's no day at the beach, said, okay, you're completely fired. You're a terrible, terrible person. And sporadically, she comes back where people go, they know who she are, they know what she does, so she comes back. So yesterday, I went, I didn't write down the name of this theater, man. I went to a theater on 99. It's right next to an IHOP and a really seedy Chinese restaurant. Anyway, we went to go see Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
Now, this theater has never, as far as I could tell, never had anyone in it. It's the place where we walked in to see some movie a year or two ago, and I got into the theater like she's behind the door. She hasn't come in yet to see theater. I turned to her and I said, all right, this is the surprise. I rented the theater out for us. To my shock and dismay, she believed me. It's like, where am I going to get money? You have the money. I would have to borrow the money from you to do this. So there's never anybody there, and there must have been 60, 70 people,
Oh,
Wow.
all over 75 years old.
What time were you at the theater?
1:15 was the show. But that's what time we always go. We go was the first showing after this show is when we go to the movies. There's never anybody there. So I thought old folks home.
Yeah, maybe they realize business is slow, so they contracted out to a retirement home.
I asked about it, and business was really super slow, but then they redecorated. The chairs go all the way back.
Oh, nice.
They're like easy barkers or whatever they're called that you would have in your house.
Sure, yeah.
Like Lazy Boy.
Right.
Brooke Shields comes with it. Well, I don't know how she really feels about it. But your feet go all the way up, and it's really cool. But we almost missed the movie because they sell tickets by kiosk.
Kiosk.
What do we know about 75-year-old people?
They're really, really slow,
Really? They don't
particularly
know how
with
to use
technology.
I can't check my baggage at the airport, and I'm only 59. How's this? What do you mean? Is SeaTac an actual name, or is it Fresno? I don't know. How do I do this? So these guys were taking forever, so we got in the line for treats or concessions. What's a weird name for that?
Concessions?
Concessions.
It's like
it really is.
I'm going to get Raisinets, and I'm going to have a concession that my ass is going to be huge after this movie. I think that's where they get the name. So fine, we get to see it. They're old people, and by old, and they're old. I'm not like going, oh, they're not old people. Yeah, they're old. They're 75 years old, and they look every single day of it. And I realize I'm way closer to their age than I am to my wife's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to look like that tomorrow. And I would say tomorrow I won't be able to operate a kiosk, except I can't operate a kiosk right now. So it was fairly terrible.
Did you like the movie?
No. I was going to wait because it just came out. But no.
More than you liked the book because you didn't really care for the book either.
Less than I liked the book, and I didn't like the book. And I feel better about this as it got really good on the thumbs up, right? On the Rotten Tomatoes.
It did.
But three old ladies that were sitting next to me came out and said in old lady voices, "That is the worst movie I've ever seen." And I said, "That's a weird old lady voice. Do you really sound like that?" And she said, "No." But I turned to her because I like to talk to strangers and I love to talk to old people. If she'd have been blind, it would have been the trifecta. But I said, I agree, it was terrible. And then people started joining us saying, that was like one of the worst movies ever, which it was not. It's one of the worst movies ever if you're invested. This young couple, they're going to go meet mom for the first time. If you care, then maybe it's the worst movie ever. If you don't care, if you just want to see the movies like I did, even though I had read the book, it's like, oh, that's kind of a huge waste of time. And they didn't fill in any gaps. Like, they'd make major mistakes. One simple one, there's a lot of going on about this big, giant jade diamond ring worth $20 million. And they close up on it. And the woman's ring keeps changing throughout the movie. Like she'll say,
"Oh, weird.
Listen, I got another thing to tell you." She'll point her finger and have the wrong ring on it. Oh. Then it'll have no ring on it, and then it'll have the giant green diamond on it that has worth $20 million. And that's the only one that comes to my mind right now. But either way, it was pretty stupid, so enjoy the show.
News is brought to you by Johnson RV. Terrible news to start things off this morning. We're finding out a young child died in an apartment fire in Auburn. The fire started about 3 o'clock this morning at the Clearwater Ridge Apartments on Auburn Way South. The fire was confined to one unit, and crews on the scene said that this young girl, believed to be 3 years old, did not survive. Cause of the fire currently unknown. This morning, Oregon was hit by a magnitude 6.2 earthquake.
That's real, 6.2.
Yeah.
This was thankfully not on land. They said it would have been far worse, but it was felt by people throughout Oregon and California. Thankfully, there is no damage and no tsunami warning has been issued for now. But they said the northwest border of California and Oregon, people felt it there. And as I said, 6.2, but no damage. Crews have finished striping the roads running underneath Seattle. Striping was completed over the weekend. Crews were wrapping up the final work before the tunnel can open.
Yeah, I'm all about this.
Oh, really? I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Why not?
I drive the viaduct every day, and I don't want to. At some point, they're going to have to tear down, as they're tearing down the viaduct before they open the tunnel. I'll have to switch to I-5. I think it's just going to be a mess. I mean, luckily, the hours we keep, it's not too bad, but I like the way I drive now.
Right, but you're not, because what you're saying is I'm not looking for the stuff that happens before the tunnel opens, the tearing it down thing, the filling up the other thing.
Right.
But the tunnels, I think, is cool. It won't help you in any way?
I guess eventually, well, by the time it helps me, then I'll have to start paying for it because they'll change it to a toll road. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you are the most pessimistic guy in the whole world.
I mean, would you be excited to start paying for your commute when you currently don't?
What year do you pay for it? Is it like 2019?
I'm not sure when it starts.
They don't know
That's
yet.
what makes you a pessimist.
They don't know exactly when they're going to close the viaduct. They
Right.
said they have to give, or they don't have to. They are going to give 30 days notice because this is going to significantly disrupt people's commutes.
Paul's particularly. And then he has to pay for it.
Yeah,
I mean, if
everybody
you-
will.
What is the world coming to?
If you look at the viaduct during rush hour, it's awful.
Yeah.
And it starts around 3 in the afternoon.
Which is crazy. Who are these people who get off work? Everybody
In-
at 2, 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
All major cities that have terrible traffic, Los Angeles, New York, Boston, things like that, it starts between 2 and 3 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and it no longer goes till 6, it goes till 7:38.
Right.
So they're going to give 30 days notice when they're going to close it, and then it's going to cause a lot of mayhem with people being pushed onto other roadways. And then they're going to open the tunnel, and then they're going to start the tolling. So we don't have a timeline because they don't have a timeline.
I got an idea, and this is just my particular idea. Never close the viaduct.
Just leave it up.
Why? What has it done to you? Why not have a tunnel and the viaduct?
Yeah. Sounds great to me.
Yeah, sounds great to me. An earthquake might come someday. Then this thing might not tolerate it. How about this? It might not, and it may. You don't know.
I'll risk it.
I'll risk it. I will absolutely risk it.
I think it's easy for us to say because we weren't here for the Nisqually earthquake. Paul, were you here?
I was here, yeah.
And
And
did
I
you
was in
feel
Los.
it?
I did feel it, but I'm still comfortable
Yeah.
driving on the viaduct.
I was in Los Angeles when good portions of Los Angeles fell down. What was it? A 9? What the hell was it? In 1971, and then again, I think in 92 or 3. I'm willing to risk it. Leave me be. Those were 4 minutes out of my whole life.
And I was talking to some people this past weekend about the viaduct and the closure, and people feel like Paul do, that it's going to be such a hassle for the commutes and the already congested roadways. But they said after the Nisqually, people who were on the roads and people who were in big buildings who felt it sway, that they're all for bringing it down.
Yeah, well, most of the city. I didn't say that I was winning people over by hearts and minds, but I was on a motorcycle during a relatively big earthquake in Los Angeles, and I thought I had a flat tire. Pulled over, didn't think another thing about it. Rode home and found out we'd had an earthquake, like 7.2 or something unreasonable. So Paul and I will ride it all the way home.
Yeah, and we want people to be afraid. We're fine with that. That's less
more
people
afraid,
on the
less
viaduct.
traffic. Yeah, you go the tunnel. Although I'll go the tunnel because it was neat and I was here for it.
In national and international news, a federal jury has found Paul Manafort guilty of 8 of the 18 counts in the financial fraud trial of the man who just 2 years ago helped President Trump secure the Republican nomination for the White House. Manafort was found guilty on 5 counts of submitting false tax returns, 1 count of failing to report foreign bank and financial accounts, and then 2 counts of bank fraud. He's facing a maximum of 80 years in prison. The other 10 counts, the judge declared a mistrial and gave prosecutors a week to decide whether they will seek a retrial on those remaining 10 counts.
You know, if you look at this guy Manafort, he appears to be normal. He drives a normal car, goes to a normal house with a normal family. Beyond that veil, he's a super freak, man.
Yeah.
Who's that guy that sings Super Freak? Well, she's a very freak. Rick James. He's Rick James.
Rick James.
Manafort is Rick James. He has an ostrich skin suit
Wow.
that costs $70,000. For ostrich skin. Where are you going to wear that? And what's the ostrich wearing? It's all bad news for somebody.
And I'm sure he wrote that off on his taxes.
He
somehow.
does, yeah, he did actually. But he has tons of things like that, like private zoos, and like he thinks he's a rapper.
And we also found out yesterday that Michael Cohen who has been under federal investigation for most of the year, has agreed to plead guilty to 8 counts of bank fraud, tax fraud, and campaign finance violations. This was a deal that prosecutors reached with President Trump's former personal attorney It will include jail time and a fine, but we do not know exactly what he's going to get yet. He said
he pled to all that stuff, and he's going to jail?
Yeah.
No, I knew he did. I just didn't know it was for sure he was going to jail on it.
He could face 65 years, up to
80.
65 years.
Whatever it is, these guys won't live to see all of it.
Yeah, I think it was 80 for Manafort and up to 65 for Cohen. He won't, though. He'll do 2 or 3 years.
If he does that, he might get sentenced to 2 or 3 and then do less than 1, which is what I'm betting on. But still, you plead, they're going to want some information on Trump and blah, blah, and we'll keep you out of jail. Would have been the only deal I'd have gone with. Keep me out of jail or I'm not doing it.
It does not require that he cooperate with federal authorities, but it doesn't mean that he won't.
Right.
He did say that he paid off 2 women who claimed to have had adult relations with President Trump before his presidency.
Right. They did not have sex with President Trump. They had sex with Donald Trump, and so did everybody.
According to NBC, this plea deal includes a recommendation of 3 to 6 years in jail, while the maximum sentence on all counts would be 65.
There you go.
But as of now, all we know is they're getting the guilty plea, and we're not exactly sure what his deal is. He's out on bond.
Well, I don't like him at all. I like Manafort better, and he's, I think, a bigger criminal, but I like Manafort better.
And Manafort's got another big trial coming, one far worse than this.
Because Cohen just rolled on his friend, who he said, I will fight to the death. He said, I'll take a bullet for Donald Trump. That's an actual quote.
Yeah.
They said on TV. I watched him say it. But you won't take this. So let me shoot you if that's the thing. But you won't go to the mats for your good buddy. And he recorded a phone call with his client. Put him in jail for the next 75 years.
Well, we'll find out how long he gets when he gets sentenced on December 12th.
And he did say he made those payments at the direction of the president. Well, at the direction of the candidate.
Right.
Yes, the candidate.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Donald Trump's name was not mentioned at all, but it was pretty clear who was being talked about.
Yep.
He was also individual number 1. When the prosecution would speak, they'd refer to the president as individual number 1.
Why can't individual number 1 have sex with all the porn stars he wants? Why is this an ordeal?
You can. It's when you take money and pay them off in an attempt to influence the election and then don't declare that money. The issue is not declaring the money.
Why did he have to do any of that? Why didn't he just say, I'm this guy? That's what I'd have done.
Because it wouldn't look good to the American people he's trying to get elected
this
by.
Looks good.
This doesn't, but this was hidden. This was secret. They wanted to keep it secret till after the election.
This is a terrible secret. I don't know. You think he knows how to keep a secret?
I mean, none of us knew about it until after he was elected president. We knew he did other stuff.
That's kind of not true. It was people knew this.
The payoffs?
Not
the payoffs we didn't know.
No, we did not know. But the girls, we all knew.
Sure.
That.
Yeah.
Some terrible news. We found out yesterday that authorities in Iowa have found the body of missing student Molly Tibbetts. They detained a suspect who will be facing charges for her murder. Now, she was 20 years old, lived in a very remote area of Iowa.
And adorable. She doesn't look like she liked good, clean fun. Maybe was on a couple of different teams or groups at school. Just everything about her. You want to adopt her.
Sophomore at the University of Iowa. She'd been living in a rural town, had gone out for a jog, never returned home. They had an extensive search for this poor young woman, and her killer is thought to be a man named Christian Rivera, age 24, and he is being charged with first-degree murder.
Now, is that the guy they're making much to do about him being an illegal alien?
Yes, and illegally in this country from Mexico.
Yeah, that doesn't help anybody because I don't really know how that's pertinent. A young lady is dead, but they're going crazy on this guy being an illegal alien.
Text that word right down to 200-200. Good luck to you. KZOK.com for all the rules and details.
And some big changes are in store for those of you who buy animal crackers.
Yeah.
After 116 years, the animals shown on the front of Barnum's Animals, the animal crackers that have been sold by Nabisco for 116 years, will no longer be shown in cages. The gorilla, the giraffe, the lion, the zebra, and the elephants instead are shown roaming a grassland field. And this is something that
attacking their caretakers.
Well, what I'm thinking is it's an unnatural shot. Something in that shot of the lions and tigers and bears don't mind. They're kind of walking towards what would be a camera, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But lion would have eaten the thing next to him right away. They're not showing that.
Right? Yeah.
Well, PETA had asked for a change back in 2016.
Oh, God.
And we know that the circus has changed and it's a different time. The way we try to view and treat animals is a lot different. And they said it just looks better.
Yeah, if you ask the guy mutilating cats, I don't think we're treating animals all that much better. Did you see any of that on the news today?
Yeah.
Oh, man, this guy.
And the funny thing about this is that you're still just going to bite their heads off.
Right.
Right? You're still eating the animals immediately.
true.
You pull them out of their not cages and pop them in your mouth.
Yeah.
Which is a real mouth. It may be a fake cage, real mouth, real teeth.
A woman trying to prove that she could run quickly in heels was not able to run fast enough. The woman had been asked, "Can you run in those high heels you're wearing?" Like kind of making fun of her for wearing
Right.
sky-high heels. 2:30 in the morning, she's like, "Yeah, let me show you." She hops out of the car, runs down a busy interstate. Well, it's not busy because it's 2:30 in the morning, but there are cars.
Right.
She gets hit by an SUV because she certainly could not outrun the car.
Right. Is she dead?
She is not dead,
Oh,
but
good.
she is in the hospital. And
Is there an embarrassment unit that she can go to?
the dude who hit her is pretty devastated. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but of course, if you hit somebody with your vehicle, you feel pretty terrible about it. But turns out you should not get out of a vehicle and run down interstates wearing high heels, no matter how adept you are at walking in them.
My old producer, by the way, we did a segment on the other half with that, and I thought everybody totally reacted. Me, Dick Clark, Mario Lopez, and there might have been somebody else on the show, all given these ridiculous heels, and we're in drag like every other third show for some reason. And then they said walk, and I thought everybody was overacting. Nobody could walk. Mario fell down. Dick said this is dangerous. I ran around, stood on my head. I always wear heels. It's the cowboy boots or this
Yeah,
thing. I don't care even a little bit. But I was going to say about this, the guy that was all upset because he hit her. My old producer in Philadelphia in the 80s, I guess, hit a bicyclist and killed him.
Oh.
And the bicyclist is not funny, Paul, came in through the windshield and was essentially in the car with him.
Wow.
He was never the same. Like he's in D.C. kicking butt on the radio. He's doing great. But if you ask him about it, he'll get the sweats and stuff. He never recovered from that.
Iowa is known for wide open spaces, but that does not mean you can drive your Ferrari wide open through them at high speeds. The Iowa State Patrol posted a photo to Facebook showing a white Ferrari 488 Spider pulled over going 137,
Yeah.
but the driver had a good excuse.
What was it?
She said, "Oh, I thought I was only going 100.
Well, that seems like a fairly. And she was going what? 133?
137.
And not even in the ballpark of top speed for that car. She should be given a point or two for not going faster.
What's it top out at? 220?
No, 202.
202.
Yeah, don't I know everything?
Yep. The
202 is still pretty fast.
Yeah, way fast. There's four cars, regular street legal cars in the world that you can get that'll do over 200 miles an hour. And by the way, one of them's a normal everyday Dodge. It looks like a normal Dodge, the Hellcat.
Yeah.
It looks like every other Charger out there on the road, except it will do 207 miles an hour and it has 787 horsepower.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Turns out, according to a new study, 1 in 15 adults over the age of 40 smells phantom odors that aren't really there.
Okay. Thank God. Please feel. No, it's been a thing.
Of the people around you?
Oh, I think it's been a thing since I went to the hospital during Christmas break a few years back, and all sorts of things have gotten better, balance and all that stuff. But all of a sudden, I'll accuse Amy of smoking. Are you
Really?
smoking? Are you hiding? Because it's so real and so right there. It's not a maybe. It's obvious. Like if there was a kid in the room, I would punish him for smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And there's
bizarre.
a couple others, but the cigarettes is the big one.
Well, they're trying to figure out how this is impacting older people because it's impacting their quality of life, and it, for some, has them struggling to maintain their weight because if you don't smell things properly, you may not want to eat properly. They said that people who develop phantom odors also get dry mouth and have poor overall health.
Yeah, it's a weird connection. People who lose their vision almost always quit smoking. Apparently, it's a real visual thing.
Oh, well,
Yeah, like
that's odd.
9.5 out of 10 quit smoking if they lose their eyesight.
When I was super sick over the past couple of weeks, for a couple of days there, I had lost all sense of smell and I couldn't taste anything I ate. And I didn't know it at first, and I couldn't understand why my food was so bland. I'm putting salt and hot sauce on it, and finally I realized I have no sense of smell, therefore I can't taste anything.
Right.
It was scary.
Yeah, we knew. Paul and I would sit there and go, man, she can't possibly smell, can she?
And it looks like our smartphones are really disgusting. They are 3 times dirtier than a toilet seat, according to recent research, and none of us clean them.
How does that happen? How is it 3 times dirtier than a toilet seat?
So if I go and do my business right on it, that will actually clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, we are not cleaning them, which is really what's the worst. Like you have something on your hand, then you're touching it, or it's in the bathroom
Like
with you.
Windex, how do we clean it?
They advise you use some lint-free cloths sprayed with diluted alcohol, which will be then wiped on the back and front of your phone, keeping all the nasty toilet bacteria away.
There's a lot of trouble. I think I'm just going to have toilet bacteria.
They also say the average person touches their phone screen 3,000 times a day.
That seems excessive to me.
I kind of believe it.
You think 3,000?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
scares
guess.
me. I kind of want to find out, and I kind of don't want to know.
Oh, yeah, I don't. They have apps now that are supposed to track that for you and give you reports and stuff. I don't want to know at all.
No. Especially during baseball season when I check my
Right, for you
fantasy
guys.
baseball like 6 times a day to see my lineup. And then after my lineup is set, I have to check and see how my players are doing.
And Matt
It's
still
bad.
loves you.
Believe it or not, he does, Danny. In Delaware, some crazy car fanatic has paid $410,000
All right, here we go.
for a license plate with the number 20.
Well,
Wait,
that seems
let-
stupid.
It does.
The bidding started at $210,000, went up $5,000 and $10,000 every half minute during the auction. They said low license plates are a big deal.
I bet Snoop Dogg would pay a lot for 420, but 20?
20. They said in Delaware, it's a real big deal. There is somebody driving around a Lexus that has a 4 license plate, and they said that's a big deal. That one probably went for about $1 million.
So let me just make sure I understand this. Are they personalized plates that you pay for and get the number 4, or are they so old there was only 3 cars on the road before you?
They are so old that they started just a couple of
Right.
just a couple of
You ever
numbers.
see that commercial where Alexander Graham Bell is at a play?
Yeah.
You picture the phone goes, no, this is 1.
Right.
You want 2.
Yeah.
That's very, very funny. But that's, I think, the principle behind these license plates.
In anticipation of Halloween this year, Sour Patch Kids has released something brand new.
Candy that tastes good.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. People seem to love Sour
Amy's
Patch
a
Kids.
fan, loves. I'll take them if they're in the house, but they're not chocolate. They're stupid. It's a big bowl of stupid.
I think Amy and Jelly Bean have the same taste in candy.
I couldn't agree. Nerds. Used to
Right.
say the nerds. Yeah.
Sour Patch Kids have released something brand new for Halloween, and it's candy corn Sour Patch Kids. So the way it looks is just like a candy corn.
So
but
no,
it's,
not something that tastes good.
No. And it doesn't look like it tastes good, which is a bad mistake.
They said it's orange and grape flavored candy corn with a dusting of Sour Patch goodness. They taste like a gummy, but have the same crumbly candy corn texture. That sounds gross.
Gummies
Yeah, no.
don't. I got gummies in my house right now, and I was being a jerk right before bed, no less. And eating a couple, they have no real taste at all.
No.
Those
Right.
things.
And they don't really dissolve or anything. They just get
No.
stuck in your teeth and then stay there.
That's exactly right.
They're
This is
gross.
stupid, and I'm against it.
Well, I thought somebody might be interested, and if you are, you can find them at all sorts of places like Walgreens and Dollar General and Kroger and Safeway. Yuck. It's time for Today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay!
A Florida teenager was arrested after he allegedly stole an AR-15 and tactical gear from a deputy's vehicle.
They should probably lock that up.
Yep.
Well, as we know, cops don't lock their cars. They leave them running. And this kid decided not only did he want to steal from it, he was going to live stream the entire thing
Right.
while he danced to rap music.
Okay, I gotta admit, I kind of like that.
So he pulls out the phone. He's filming himself. He goes over. He's dancing. He's got the music playing. And then he proceeds to steal the AR-15, 2 loaded magazines, a gas mask, a taser, a ballistics helmet, and rifle clips.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me. But why isn't it in the trunk?
It should be, yeah.
It should be in the trunk, especially the gun.
Well, can't you pop it?
I guess I didn't know that the cops don't lock the car. I knew the thing about
And
they
leaves
keep
them
them
running.
Yeah.
But see, my car, and I think Amy's car, no, and therefore I think your car, it could be running and not have the keys in it. And if you opened it and tried to go anywhere, it wouldn't work out.
Yeah.
But cop cars on all new Kias and Jeeps.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever
I just
that
didn't
is.
know they left the doors unlocked. That's
Oh, Florida.
not very brave.
Oh,
Florida.
I was trying so hard to find a rap thing on the apps on my phone, back up that story so we could all dance, but apparently I don't have as much rap on my phone as I thought. Plus, that's $2,999 right there, and it's only $621.
News brought to you by Johnson RV. When we come back in entertainment news, tell you about a strange update to the next James Bond movie. In sports, there's bad news for one of the Seahawks. We'll tell you who is hurt and what's next for him. And Mariners game tickets could be yours. Win them next in sports. Well, we've had quite a lot of smoke in our skies, making it a little bit difficult to see. But if you looked at the Space Needle last night, you might have gotten a bit of an eyeful, as Alice in Chains did indeed perform on the revolving glass floor, 500 feet up in the air.
You know, I can't believe I forgot.
You forgot to look.
Yeah, I forgot to look and even listen, too. I can usually hear stuff coming from that area. You know, Bumbershoot is crazed coming into my windows. I can't believe I forgot.
I don't think you would have been able to hear it because it was inside the Space Needle.
Then what was the point? Why'd they do it?
To get us talking about their new album, which comes out on Friday.
I'm sure they filmed it too. I'm sure
Yeah.
at some point we'll be able to see footage of it.
There is some now on, I saw some on, it's either Q13 or Como's website. I did see a little bit of Jerry Cantrell looking good. And they said this was very exciting for them because they're from here. And this was obviously it's the most iconic thing in the city.
Anything involving the Space Needle would be exciting for me. And when I see the people walking on the outside or raising a flag, I cannot believe that I have not been asked to do something like that yet. And if you're doing some kind of cause, I'll chip in. Just let me raise a flag on top of the Space Needle.
Yeah, normally when someone raises a flag, they are directly part of whatever the cause is.
I shaved my head for breast cancer awareness. Let me raise a friggin' flag.
Well, if they raise a breast cancer awareness flag, maybe you'll get the call.
Well, I'll shave my head for what else they got going on.
Well, you don't care.
It's
Whatever
Auto
it is.
Mechanics Week. Fine, I shaved my head for my mechanic.
Your hair has grown back pretty significantly already.
It's growing in crazy directions. So my friend said I looked like the heat miser. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. He's Mr. Snow. Yeah, that guy apparently, who's a crazed redheaded monster. I don't want to be that anymore.
Aretha Franklin saddened the world when she died at just age 76. She had been sick with cancer off and on for years, and that was what she lost her battle with pancreatic cancer. We are now finding out Aretha Franklin did not leave a will behind.
How can you be 76 and have cancer running through your life and not make out a will? That's crazy. It's
Bit of a
crazier than
surprise.
Prince.
Yeah.
Prince was healthy as a horse, if you will, and didn't think the end was near.
Yep.
But still ridiculous. I have a will. Everybody I know has a will.
Well,
Paul,
and-
you have kids. Do you have a will?
I do. I don't have anything.
And you're like 12 years old.
Right.
It was pretty surprising that Prince was that disorganized.
Right.
Even if you're healthy and all that, he didn't have a tidy family. Aretha Franklin's family, the situation with her estate will be much easier to figure out because she has 4 children, and according to law in Detroit, Michigan, it gets divided up equally among the kids. That's just the way the law works. Whereas with Prince, it was a debacle. It continues to be a debacle.
And it was a lot more money than, although she was rich. She was
Yeah.
certainly rich, but he had hundreds of millions.
So the kids will divide it up, and as we discussed, there will be an open casket memorial, which starts on August 31st. I'm sorry, that's the days leading up to August 31st, and then the funeral is private for the family on the 31st.
It's weird that no will. You know how I can always remember that I have a will? Because I spend a whole bunch of time cutting my children out of it.
Well, some of the biggest names in music will be taking the stage for the iHeartRadio Music Festival, which is September 21st and 22nd. And guess what? We want to send you to Vegas to see the show on us. You're listening for the keyword. You texted to 200-200, and that's your chance to win a trip for two. Your next chance to text in and win happens at 8:10 this morning. Woo-hoo.
Hey, can we outlaw saying Vegas baby on this show?
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Someone take it. That's a no. Yeah, all right.
What's wrong with Vegas, baby?
I just saw some live TV show, or actually a news type program, but they were in Vegas, and people kept walking behind them and to screw up their shot, as people will do, making faces, doing peace sign, all that stuff. 100% of the people would walk by going, Vegas, baby! So I was just hoping maybe we could cut that out.
All right, so I'll say it again. We would like to send you to Las Vegas.
Vegas, baby!
Nevada.
I guess we cannot.
My headphones must not be working. I did not hear me.
Natalie Portman will direct and star as twin sisters in a drama about dueling advice columnists Esther and Pauline Friedman.
Oh, neat.
Better known as Ann Landers and Abby. Dear
Abby.
Dear Abby.
Yeah.
The sisters had a professional rivalry, but led lives that were equal parts competition, jealousy, success, and love.
I have that with my brothers and sisters. Just kick their asses.
Well, she will be playing both sisters and will be directing, which is not something she's done a lot of, but I guess a movie called A Tale of Love and Darkness.
And is she playing the Winklevoss twins?
Yes, she is.
So I didn't know that those two were twins. I knew they were sisters. Dear Abby and Ann Landers. I did not know that they were twins.
I didn't know they were twins either.
Yeah, I thought twins were supposed to be, sharing bonds and special closeness.
So you have never seen the show Evil Twins,
No.
where they murder each other and they murder other people and they totally murder each other even more.
Both of those ladies are dead, right?
I would assume so.
Ann and Abby? I
Well,
think so.
Yeah.
I would think so, yeah.
NBC is building a second season of Making It. The broadcast network has handed out a renewal for this unscripted series hosted by friends Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman. They know each other from Parks and Rec, but they are very good friends on and off screen, and said this is an unscripted series that is going quite well. And they wrap on September 4th that have already been renewed.
No, it's weird because it looks like death to me.
Yeah.
The show, make a birdhouse or whatever they do, it seems like wood shop with stars.
It looks kind of fun. But then again, that's probably because Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman seem fun.
I got to be honest with you, though. I've never seen it. I've just seen the commercials. And it just doesn't look like, it really does look like Make a Birdhouse. Mm-hmm. And Ellen DeGeneres tried this and failed miserably.
A show about creating stuff?
Making mailboxes and stuff, yeah. Mm. Or furniture, hats, I don't know.
Something.
Netflix has announced another big stand-up special, Tiffany Haddish. I never know if it's Haddish or Hadish.
Hadish, I think.
Hadish. She's hilarious, however, she wants to pronounce her name.
I don't love her.
Really?
My wife turned me on to her. How did she bill it? Not the black rhino. The black unicorn. So I knew it was something with a horn. I think that's maybe even the name of her book, which Amy's just a big, big, big fan of. And I only see her like in a couple of things. I just think she's doing the same trick over and over.
Yeah.
And I told that Pooh Boy, I said, Pooh Boy, you're hot. Like that. It's like, okay, now tone it down a little. And she doesn't seem to be able to.
I think she is hilarious. She is pretty in your face. They have said she is brash. And she's an incredible artist. So Netflix has signed her on for a new stand-up special.
Well, maybe I don't even get to vote because I had no idea she did stand-up. I thought she was a writer and an actress.
No, she's been doing stand-up for a while.
Oh, okay.
And joining some pretty big names who have these comedy specials on Netflix. Dave Chappelle, Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock.
Yep.
So she's in some pretty good
She's
company.
in good company.
Do we know how much money? Because they got huge paydays.
She didn't get $65 million that
Right.
Chris Rock got.
And I'm okay with that. She should be okay with that. You're not in the same company as Dave
Right.
Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Jerry Seinfeld.
But she might have got a couple of $1 million, and she's a young lady just starting, so okay.
Looks like the new Bond film will need a new director. Danny Boyle, who is an accomplished director, said creative differences. He has decided to no longer be on board.
Do they say who the differences are between him and Daniel Craig, or between him and the producers?
Yeah,
because Daniel Craig wouldn't shut up for a little while, which was starting to bug me. He said this, and I quote, he could totally be one of my kids because you threaten to slice your wrist before you do something. And he said, I would slice my wrist before I would play Bond again. And they said $12 million. And he said, all right.
He's the guy who was behind Slumdog Millionaire, 127 Hours, a bunch of other really, really big movies. Trainspotting, none.
Oh, well, then I don't care that much.
Sam Mendes.
Because they're good.
Did the last couple of ones. And
Get him back then.
Get him back. And he was very good. That was really good. Both those were very good. Spectre and whatever. I saw them both. I thought they were great.
I'm pretty sure I've seen every single Bond movie ever made. Oh, except maybe that one with George Lazenby. I'm not sure if I saw that one. But I think I've seen every one.
That guy takes such a beating. I thought he did okay.
Yeah, I feel like I must have seen it. It must have been on TV when I was a little kid.
Well, I guess, because I'm a huge Bond fan. I can't imagine that I've seen all of them.
When I was growing up, my parents didn't have cable. So you watched whatever was on the television, and we watched a lot of hockey, and then just whatever was on the networks. So they always, like on the weekends, they always showed James Bond movies.
So did you have rabbit ears?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And no toys.
No toys. We had a
You're
lot of
under the
books.
impression these people liked you. I stayed in an Airbnb in Los Angeles a week or two, whatever it was. And it says in the brochure TV, but it's not real TV. It's not cable. I can't watch the news. I can watch Netflix. I can watch Archer. I've seen every episode of Archer, but it's not the same, that kind of streaming stuff. I don't think. I liked it, but it would make you crazy trying to pick what you were going to watch.
Yeah, I think that's what Tori does. Tori is a cord cutter. So she can watch, I know Tori probably doesn't watch like CBS News, but you can watch network news, just not local.
I have to admit something. I got basic cable.
No, you didn't.
I did.
What was your reason?
My mom actually told me I had to. I don't know. She felt like I was too disconnected from the world. So I'm like, fine, Mom, I'll do it.
It's
up
so
until
much
up until that, I was going to say, what else does your mommy tell you have to do right now? 24-year-old human being. But she was right on that. That's too disconnected. I was crazy. I didn't watch the whole time I was in LA. I didn't watch news.
That's wild.
It was terrible. I was so afraid I didn't know what was going to come up next. So I'm glad. So now you're watching TV news and eating meat. Is that right, young lady?
Yeah, I'm so informed.
I am
and
proud
strong.
like I'm your daddy.
Tori, have you become addicted to any particular television shows?
I still really don't turn my TV on much. I use
What do you
Netflix.
do?
Netflix.
Just when we thought you were a real American.
Yeah, Black Mirror though. That's my
course.
jam.
You're
yeah,
so twisted.
I know.
That's your jam.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA. Well, unfortunately, Josh Reddick homered and gave Houston the lead that they hung on to and beat the Mariners 3-2 last night. On the bright side, Seattle turned a franchise record 6 double plays.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. If you were at last night's Mariners game at Safeco Field, you need to start calling us right now to tell us the song that played for Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. First person to correctly tell us what song played during last night's game wins tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. So start calling right now. Derek, what will they win?
Tickets for the game on September 8th at 7:10 p.m. versus the New York Yankees, which just happens to be Salute to Latin American Baseball Night.
Salute to Latin American Baseball Night.
Call right now, 800-252-1025. We have a day game today. The Astros, Mariners again, Marco Gonzalez versus Charlie Morton, 1:10 start time. Now, the Mariners have said they are aware of the terrible smoky conditions that we're experiencing here in Seattle. A lot of people who attended last night's game were wearing face masks. Some people didn't stay for the whole thing.
By the way, almost everybody at the game wearing face masks was wearing the wrong face mask that did almost zero to protect you, except make you feel better because you were wearing it.
Feel better.
It's called an N72 or something like that, which is the only one that they say that you can go to a regular store. It's really for spray painting houses. It's a little more serious. You look a little more Bane.
Most people say they're completely sold out. You can't even find the correct face masks. So if you wanted to attend the game but are concerned about your health. They said if you want to trade your tickets in for a future game, you can.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can go to the box office and say, yeah, it's too smoky. Can I go next week?
You know, I have a view not from here, but down there by the microwave and Scott Vanderpool's office and things like that, where I can see if a cruise ship pulled into a particular dock. And I told you yesterday, oh, there's a cruise ship. And I went to see if there was another one today. And I went, oh, it's not there. And I came back and I went, wait a minute. I can't really tell if it's there.
Oh,
They
yeah.
could be so smoky because you can't tell. I can't see any of that stuff.
I was surprised. There were quite a few fans out there last night. You're just watching on TV. It looked not full, but more people than I expected.
Because people don't listen. I got yelled at a little bit, but I did my treadmill this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
pumping away. Windows closed, which was different from yesterday, but I can't see how that's that much better in my
Because
house.
your AC is pulling the smoke in.
Oh,
Is that what you're saying?
I
Or why
have
do
a
you
portable AC 100 yard. Well, however
Okay.
big my house is. I have a fan.
think? So indoors, I think
She
you're
just
okay.
comes over
Indoor
and blows on me.
exercise
She's
is
my
okay.
biggest fan.
The Seattle Seahawks, their backfield depth has taken another hit this week.
They
Running-
had backfield depth? I thought that took a hit in the offseason.
It certainly did, but we already lost Rashad Penny with a broken finger, and now running back J.D. McKissick has a Jones fracture in his foot. He will miss 4 to 6 weeks.
Do you know what that is? Because I'm going to ask if you don't know.
A
what
Jones
that is.
fracture?
Yeah.
I do not.
What's a Jones fracture?
A
Is that where
Jones.
you break your foot and then really want to do it again? Jones.
That sounds totally right.
It's a break between the base and the shaft of the fifth metatarsal bone of the
So
foot.
if I break between the base and the shaft,
Mm-hmm.
it's
of
a
the
Jones.
fifth metatarsal.
Right, of course. Certainly.
Now, he is expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks, and Chris Carson is the likely backup. McKissick is competing, let's see, with Mike Davis and CJ Procise. We need healthy Seahawks, please.
Yeah.
Be nice to each other at practice. We also found out that Amara Darba is getting a clavicle injury checked out. That is according to Pete Carroll. He is a second-year wide receiver. Let's see what else is happening in the wide world of sports. Brianna Stewart has taken her game to a new level this year, and she helped to lead Seattle to the top spot in the league. Her efforts have earned her the Associated Press WNBA Player of the Year.
I couldn't tell what sport this lady played.
She plays for the Storm.
All right.
And some weird basketball news. Y'all remember we were following the drama about Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Former professional basketball player, former professional NBA player, I guess I should say, because he is playing basketball again. But former NBA player who went to a
Brothel.
yes,
Yeah. Former dead guy. He died there, right?
he died there. We are finding out more details
died
about
there?
him dying.
I mean, he was legally dead when
Yes.
they found him, yeah.
Yes, we are finding out more about what happened to him when he was at the Love Ranch in
How much
Pahrump.
more could have happened to him? He died.
But they brought him back to life. They resuscitated him.
Well, Lamar Odom, he's the one, by the way, who was married to Khloe Kardashian at the time.
For like an hour and a
says-
half, right?
No, they were married for several years. Why are you staring
yeah,
at
I
me
was
like I'm an
thinking-
alien?
Because I was wrong. I was thinking Kim and her basketball playing husband were married for an
They
hour
were
and a
married
half.
for a minute. No. Lamar Odom appeared on the Kevin Hart show that he has on YouTube called Cold as Balls. And he revealed Lamar Odom 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks.
Wow, 12 strokes. And he was at a whorehouse. Why even
6
bother?
heart attacks. And he said it was actually a lot worse than anybody thought.
And we thought it was pretty bad. We thought he was dead.
Exactly.
I did not think he was dead. This is the first time hearing about him being dead. But, you know, my father had a stroke. I know some other people had strokes. When you get up and you walk out at any point, it's not as bad as I thought. It's not nearly as bad. People that I think that have strokes have a curled up hand, drool on themselves and slur and drag their dead foot behind them for the rest of their lives. So, I don't know how, if you're thinking this will get me some sympathy and I'll be anything that more than an ex-jock who cheated on my wife with hookers in public and didn't care about anybody. You know, I don't love this guy.
He says he has now been to rehab. He is fully sober over his addiction. Heart.
Where's he playing basketball?
China.
Well, that would make perfect sense, of course.
And congratulations to Dane in Kirkland, who was at last night's Mariners game and knew Mariners KZOK music trivia was Running with the Devil from Van Halen.
Oh, that's great, Dane. Had to, sorry.
Dane's going to the Chief Winners window in our lobby to pick up tickets to, I don't remember what, Derek?
Dane won tickets for the game on September 8th at 7:10 p.m. versus the New York Yankees, which just happens to be Salute to Latin American Baseball Night.
Salute to Latin American Baseball Night. Got it.
Mariners are set to host the New York Yankees for a huge weekend series beginning Friday, September 7th. Watch Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and the Yankees slug it out with Nelson Cruz, Mitch Haniger, and the Mariners. And on the 8th, the Mariners honor the many great contributions that Latin Americans have made in baseball and wear special Marineros uniforms.
Yeah.
Get seats while they last at mariners.com.
Well, your next chance to win will be tomorrow morning, right around the same time, because they're playing today here in Seattle. Houston Astros 1:10 start time on Root Sports. And Sports This Morning brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Put him up, put him up, put him up. That's the Cowardly Lion, in case you're wondering.
That's
And
great.
Why the hell am I doing that? No real good reason, actually. But at 7:20, we got a game called Put Up Your Dukes. Play, win, get a $100 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder, which rocks, by the way.
Well, we know here in Seattle, a man stole a yacht
Yeah.
on South Lake Union and went for a brief joyride. Now, this dude stole a yacht that was worth, I believe, or the price tag is $2.4 million. It's for sale. And this
I saw. By the way, I've been on board this boat. I didn't
really?
realize it. Yeah, I went down there and did a thing at the boat show. Remember, same place, Chandler's Crab Shack
Yeah,
or
right.
House, same place. So, but there was the boat show and there was nobody there because the weather wasn't that great. So they took me on tours of boats. So I'm very confident because there was only one $2.5 million boat there. That's how I'm remembering it by price. And if you had it, that boat's worth it.
I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, I was out on my balcony and I'm looking out at the Puget Sound, and there is the Victoria Clipper, and it's just sitting there out in the middle of the sound. I'm like, that's really weird. Somebody had stolen it.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, I
Took it
remember
for a
that.
joyride. You know, I know we talk sometimes about illegal things we'd like to do.
Yeah.
It never would occur to me to steal the Victoria Clipper.
No,
It's
it
just
occurs to me
not on my list.
often to discuss seriously illegal things that I've actually done. And it's kind of fun. I mean, I paid my debt to society,
Yeah.
but it's kind of fun talking about criminal activity.
But we were just talking about how cops leave the cop cars running and unlocked. Has it ever occurred to you to just take it on a joyride?
Oh yeah, of course. Any car I see running, and oftentimes cars I see running getting gas, and they're going back into the gas station to pay or buy candy, and I'm thinking my really nice Jeep is right there, and I think, well, I'm going to steal that 1987 Toyota Corolla right now. So yeah, it occurs to me. But you know what occurs to me more often, and I have done this as an adult:
What's that?
movie hop.
Oh,
Buy one
yeah.
ticket. Remember when you were kids? I don't know what they had when you were kids, but when I was kids, they were just starting these 20 theater things, and you could buy one movie ticket and stay
Yes.
all day.
Yeah.
And unless you were a jerk kid and made a lot of noise, nobody cared. I've done that as an adult, and it's fun.
oh, that's breaking the law.
It's great. I was on in Philadelphia years and years ago. I was on against Howard Stern, head to head in the mornings. He was killing me, but head to head against Howard Stern. And his movie came out, and I really wanted to see it, but I didn't want him to get credit for my ticket. So I bought a ticket for 101 Dalmatians, went that way, and went, took a right and went and saw whatever the Private Parts, whatever it was
Yeah, that's what
called.
it was.
And he did not get the credits. My answer is movie hop. I like to movie hop even now.
And it's not permitted. You are, mildly breaking the law.
Mildly.
Better than stealing a cop car.
I think if you see a second movie, you come down to actually stealing.
Yeah.
You stole somebody's 12
Right,
bucks.
yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Because I'm a criminal at heart.
What do you guys think? Is there something illegal or something
Breaking
that
the
you're
law.
not permitted to do that you'd still like to do?
So some guy, he stole a yacht on South Lake Union, and it just seemed like a good time from my angle. I'm sorry about the boner, but I'm sure everybody has insurance. But it leads to the question, is there something illegal and or not permitted that you would still love to do? Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or you can text 90627.
Good morning, Mike and Sultan.
Hey, I'm Mike.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Sneaky Sexy Bonaduce.
What up?
Hey, I want to steal an ice cream truck, drive it around, pretend like I'm going to stop, and then when the kids get close, just take off like I'm
Oh,
like
Mike.
they haven't chased me. But then I want to take the ice cream truck home and eat it all.
Well, I had my suspicions about Mike to begin with, but he's a terrible human being. I want to steal an ice cream truck and sell drugs out of it. Not that I would ever sell drugs, but you saw that in a couple of different movies, and people made real money. One guy's name was Cheech, and I think the other guy's name was John. Thank you, Mike.
800-252-1025. Is there something illegal, something that's not permitted that you would still like to do? Let's talk to Drama in Renton.
Hey, Drama.
Hey, good morning, y'all.
What up?
So I would, just to be short, assault. And what I mean by that is I'm a firm believer stupid should hurt. And these people that kind of run their mouths because they know they're protected, like if you hit them, they can call the police and ha-ha, so they think it's funny to run their mouths. Or someone, anyways, stupid should hurt. And I think assault is a good thing.
Well, see, I got to tell you, in a way, I'm with Drama on this. There was a saying back in LA when people used to fight. You had a disagreement with another man, you could get in a fight, and that would be the end of it. Somebody'd win, somebody'd lose, usually shake hands and go drink. And then it turned into this weird thing, and I used in my. But in Los Angeles, starting about 1990, you punch a guy, he falls backwards, and he gets caught by his attorney. And he starts suing you right there at the nightclub or wherever. So I'm with Drama. The only reason I'm not 100% with Drama is you guys remember Drama?
Yeah, I'm a little.
You can tell to look at him, it would super hurt to get punched in the face by Drama.
I'm with Drama and also even more scared of Drama.
Yeah, I'm with Drama no matter. Even if I'm not with Drama, tell him I'm with him.
Absolutely.
A guy stole a yacht on South Lake Union, took it for a little joyride, and it's probably something we all secretly would like to do. We're asking if there's something illegal or something not permitted that you would still like to do. Call 800-252-1025. Andy in Tacoma, hello. Hello?
Hey, Andy.
I think we lost
Are you
Andy.
there?
There he is. Yeah, we're here, man. What's up?
Here we are. Well, I'm not in Tacoma. I'm in Olympia.
Oops.
Same place.
But
Sorry.
there's actually two. The first one, which I don't know how to do it anyway, would be steal a helicopter. But something that I think would even be more fun would be kidnap you guys, the morning crew.
Yeah, well, let's take a little moment to not spread that around. But you know what? We have these weird locks on all the doors around here, and I always think this kind of overkill. Nobody's trying to get us. Now I know. It's Andy.
Suddenly it makes sense.
That's why we have to carry the security cards and click in and out every single door around here. We have to do a punch code to go to the bathroom because of people like you, Andy. All right, that was fun.
Well, Andrew in Kent texted into 90627. He would wait until he was sure that nobody was there, and then he would blow up the wrecking yard / meth den that is down the street from his house.
Ooh.
Yeah, by the way, totally down with that.
Yeah,
As long as nobody gets hurt, I will say out loud, yeah, let's go blow that thing up. I think it'll be fun. They deserve it.
DJ in Puyallup always thinks about skipping out on a meal at a fancy restaurant. I think I've thought about that too. Run on the check.
Jeff and I, my friend Jeff, who is not Jim O'Neill, different guy, he used to have some kind of fit. And then they'd call an ambulance. And he'd go, he'd take it to the end. He'd go and he'd get in it.
And they just want you to go at that point, right? They don't even care if you pay.
I don't even know. I'm in the
here.
ambulance with Jeff. But he did that a couple of times. The very first time I thought, oh man, because he was my new friend, he's gurgling and stuff. Ooh. Yeah, and we didn't end up paying for Denny's that day.
Good morning to Vinny in Renton.
What up, Vinny?
Hey, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Hi, Drama. Hi, yo. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Corey. Hi, y'all. Okay, again. Even though I probably wouldn't do it now, but I might have did it in my 20s. Steal a cop car with maybe a prisoner in it.
And then would you tell the prisoner, okay, what are you going to give me? Because those doors are locked, whether you're driving or not. He still can't get out. I would say $500, so I'm driving this right back to the police station. That's what I would do.
And let's hear from Bill in DuPont. We're asking, is there something illegal, something that's not permitted that you'd still like to do?
Oh, yes, there is. How you doing, guys?
We're all good, Bill. What do you got for us?
Oh, not a whole lot, but I like to streak.
Streak?
Yeah, back in my day, streaking was a fad, but I think it died way too quick. I don't think we gave it a fair share.
We're streaking the quad, man. We're bringing it back.
Bill's with you.
Oh, yes, they call it the streak. I'm going to just sing that song every time this comes up.
Well, I know a lot of people actually have that urge, though, because they do it at sporting events. People will just take off their clothes and run onto the baseball field, the soccer pitch,
One
wherever.
time, I was just itching to steal a hot air balloon. In this giant field in Phoenix, there was an air balloon show, and part of the show was they were taking me and the news lady up, Boomer, I believe her name was, giving you an idea of the kind of show we were doing, and the guy wasn't there, and the balloon seemed ready to go. Like all you had to do was pull that cord, and it would go, and it would take off into space. But I didn't do it. I should have done it. This would be such a better story if I'd have done it.
Jim in Spanaway, what is something that's illegal or not permitted that you'd still like to do?
I want to install a dual-edge snowplow like they put on the front of trains, split lanes on I-5 in rush hour traffic, throwing cars everywhere.
I'm pretty sure I saw that in the Bruce Willis movie.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that does sound awesome.
And Paul, is there something that's not permitted or illegal that you'd like to do?
I want to fire up my barbecue and cook a nice tri-tip roast during a level 1 burn ban, which I may or may not have done last night.
You're such a rebel. So you cooked? That'll show 'em.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised nobody would call the cops on you, though, because there is
The
a burn
barbecue
ban.
cops.
Who's
they're gonna
out
call,
there?
They're going to call the barbecue.
In my
Yes.
mind, he lives out in the woods all by himself, that there's nobody to go, oh, he's barbecuing, let's call the police.
You could smell it.
You
Oh,
can
it's
smell
Paul. I could smell Paul.
You know what I do, and I don't know if it's illegal or not. I go to record shops, find old Partridge Family records, sign my name on them, put them back where I got them, and run out into the streets.
That's illegal.
That's certainly against the
Yep.
rules.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
All right, here's something I actually do, but I don't think I would ever go through with a crime. But every time I see an armored car, like let's say I'm just in a parking lot at the grocery store and it pulls up, I like kind of slink down in my seat a little bit and do a little recon, like plan out how I would
How you
rob this
would?
armored car. Like I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to be ready for it.
I believe that you're not going to do it. I'm ready for it if their money bags start falling off the back on the freeway, like it has happened.
Yeah.
We should just start following those cars around and wait our turn.
I mean, how many times have you seen a delivery guy, like the beard truck delivery or the Cheetos guy?
Yeah.
How many times have you seen that and wanted to steal all the good stuff?
Every time.
I mean, I've told you this. Me and Jim O'Neill up at the treehouse. I don't know what we stole. I think it was just bread, but the point was to steal it.
Yeah.
We stole like 20 loaves of bread and ran back up to the treehouse and ate them and thought we were hysterical.
Tori, is there something not permitted, something illegal that you'd like to do?
I want to free all the ponies that they let the little kids ride at the zoo. You know, they go in a circle all day and they look miserable.
I'm with you. Free the animals.
What are they going to do if you free those?
No, just free the ponies.
Yeah, what are they going to do? What are the ponies
They're
going to
gonna
do?
get more
They're going to be
ponies.
happy.
They're going to be glue.
And you want the kids to look miserable instead of the ponies?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
then
with
the
Tori.
kids can ride them out of the zoo. You know, that's their new pet or
You're
something.
going to free the kids too.
Yeah, exactly.
And Derek, is there something illegal or not permitted that you would like to do?
Breaking and entering. I think there's a lot of places that'd be cool to just break into in the middle of the night, like the Showbox. You could just have your own private concert, just
Yeah.
plug in a guitar and play for yourself.
Yeah, okay. I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in. Yeah,
I
we'll do
like
it.
that.
The Derek Show. I'm in. There's something about Derek's face that just makes me feel like everything he does is either full on illegal or verging on illegal. I mean, look at him. He just looks like a criminal to me.
Yep, he is. Hey, it's time to play Put Up Your Dukes.
Put up your
Put up your
dukes.
dukes.
This is your chance to win a $100 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder, voted best restaurant and best seafood restaurant in 2018.
So good, that place. I was just there, and it's fabulous.
Tori and Derek will be hanging out at Duke's in Greenwood next Thursday. We want you to hang out with them, food and drink on us. So if you want to play and win this $100 gift card, call us right now, 800-252-1025. Okay, where we are playing Put Up Your Dukes. This is your chance to win a $100 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder. Yum, yum, yum. Now, we know that Danny would fight any Osmond. A mountain lion, he'd fight most baby animals. To win, you just need to tell us who he is challenging this time to put up their dukes. Our contestant is Joe in Linwood.
Hey, Joe, how the hell are you?
Morning.
Morning. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I sure do.
Do you understand the rules of the game?
Yep.
Then here we go, sir. Put up your dukes if you are this 1962 song by Gene Chandler that rocketed to the top of the pop and R&B charts and was later named one of the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. The song grew out of the singer's vocal warm-ups with his buddy Earl Edwards, and they used to sing doot, 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 doot. Can you tell us what song I want to put up its dukes?
Oh, Duke of Earl, Duke. I don't know the name of that song.
I think you just got
You just
there.
said it, bro. It's the Duke of Earl. You're fine. You win stuff. You win $100 worth of clam chowder.
Joe thought if he said it 4 times, he'd win $400.
Congratulations, Joe and Linwood. The song is indeed Duke of Earl. You've won a $100 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder. You can pick up your prize at the Jeep Winners window here in our lobby. Duke's knows seafood with happy hour daily from 3 till 6 and 9 till close. You can win again tomorrow, 7:20. I hate you people. And the news is next.
Big news of the day brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. You would just want to call 1-800-DIVORCE or go online to goldbergjones.com.
Well, of course, what's top of mind here in Seattle is this crazy smoke filling the skies. As Tori just told us, the weather is expected to change tomorrow, and we'll get even a chance of rain over the weekend.
My sister-in-law with her baby have a plan to come down for the weekend, and I'm going to give it till maybe tomorrow evening to call them up and say, nope, you can't bring a baby down here. You just, it's a little baby.
It's going to dissipate by tomorrow, so she should be fine coming in for the weekend. But, it's kind of been a downer for people. It's really been bringing people down a bit. So in the big news, we've got some good news.
Wow, I would love that.
God, you look shocked.
I am shocked. That's why.
A big announcement, according to the Oregonian, In-N-Out Burger is creeping even closer to Western Washington.
Really?
Whoa, wait. Before we get put on our party hats, what does that mean?
Well, we know the closest one is in Oregon, and it's far. They are going to be opening up a new In-N-Out Burger, Kaiser, Oregon. Kaiser is going to be where the new restaurant is, and here's how far it's still far, my friends, but it's getting closer.
The good news is that Oregon has at least 2 In-N-Out burgers. That's the good news for me here in Seattle.
Yeah, the one right now is Grants Pass, I think.
Yep,
that's like Southern Oregon.
Yep.
Like you're almost in California at that point.
It's going to be an hour from Vancouver, Washington.
Okay.
So our listeners down there, that's great news for them.
Good for them, yeah.
2 hours and 20 minutes from Olympia.
Yeah.
3 hours from Tacoma. 3.5 hours from Seattle.
In no traffic.
Which doesn't exist.
I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it.
What I'm saying is I don't understand how it's good news for us. That's a 3-hour drive to get a burger. I already drive an hour each way to get a hot dog.
It's going to be a 7-hour round trip drive.
This is just craziness.
If you want to ride along with me, I could probably use the company.
Thank you.
Grants Pass and Medford are the 2 closest, and they are certainly not close.
Yeah.
So they're getting closer, my friends, slowly but surely. Now back to the bad news, making big news. Another YouTube challenge wreaking havoc on families' lives.
All right.
A 12-year-old girl is recovering from severe burns after attempting the viral fire challenge.
The hell is the fire challenge?
Stupid.
The only fire challenge I'm aware of is my last 3 bosses said you're fired. And I was bummed, and then I went home and got a new job.
You pour rubbing alcohol on yourself and light it on fire.
No.
Well,
don't do that.
No, that's not true. You're going to have to take that back.
Really?
Well, it
we're
depends
going
on
to
how you
encourage
answer
people
this
to do
question.
that?
Depends on how you answer this question. You ever set yourself on fire with liquor or alcohol?
Yeah.
Me too.
But don't do it. I'm
Don't
still
do it.
saying,
No,
what
it's
was
a bad-
this 12-year-old girl, especially you, don't do it.
No, don't absolutely do it yet. Both Paul and I did it probably around the time we were 12. And I've done it recently.
I know as an adult, you've lit something else on fire that you shouldn't have, that an emission from your body.
If it was my wiener, I would think I'd remember.
You'd think you would.
I would, yeah, I'm positive. It's not that big a flame, and that would embarrass me a little bit.
This little girl has burns on almost 50% of her body.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that. And she's 12, so she's old enough to get away with it and me not say, well, you had that coming, you're an idiot. She's 12, she's supposed to be an idiot. They don't know anything. They're little kids, so I'm very sorry for this kid.
Yeah, most of the time they say with this challenge, it burns off really quickly because rubbing alcohol is such a thin liquid. Sadly, it wasn't the case here.
I never waited for it to burn off, except when it was on my shoes and stuff, on my hands and arms, which totally boys used to do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You light it and go, whoa, and then you put it out with your mom's favorite towel.
This week, Russia displayed its latest weapons at a military show aimed at attracting more foreign customers. President Vladimir Putin said in an address to the army that this is at the army show. This reflects the huge potential of Russian military industries and will serve as a platform for military cooperation with other countries. They featured their latest fighter jet, the Su-57, the Kinzhal hypersonic weapon.
Hypersonic?
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
It sounds
means
dangerous.
you can get a hot dog really fast. You take the hypersonic.
An Armada battle tank. They have robotic systems in these tanks.
Yeah.
And
we should probably not fight them. They sound pretty badass.
We'd beat them right now. We'd beat both China and Russia together right now. If this all went bad today, we would win.
Yeah, they've got a lot of, and they always have had a lot of military equipment, but this stuff is high tech.
Yeah, the robot stuff makes me. But what makes me more nervous is the alliance that Russia has with other countries. We'll sell you some missiles, and by the way, we want to put some of our own missiles or whatever it is that whatever Russia gets, they're getting more than rubles out of this.
And according to the Wall Street Journal, Frito-Lay, the people who make Cheetos, have a lawsuit a-brewing. Now, we all know what Cheetos are, right?
Yummy.
Yeah.
They are yummy. But what do you think of when you think of Cheetos?
I think of that cheetah and orange fingers.
Orange dust, yeah.
Orange dust. You think about the shape of Cheetos, the crunch, the deliciousness.
Yeah.
You take your Cheetos just a tad more seriously than I do, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, mostly you just shovel them into your
eat 'em and
face.
look at your fingers for the orange dust. But if you want to worship them and love them and rub them down, you have at it.
Well, there is a lawsuit. They have sent a cease and desist. Cheetos. They have sent this to World Peas brand Peetos. They have a healthier alternative to Cheetos called Peetos, and it's made of peas and lentils. Peetos also has a paw print logo that says tigers live longer than cheetahs.
Yeah, you can't do this. I think you can actually do that part. If you did it by itself. And
Without
you didn't
the
have
pedos?
And you didn't have a cartoon drawing of that cheetah, Chester, I think his name is. That's open for discussion. These things really, because it might be true, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You haven't infringed yet. But they do. I think they're going to lose that one.
Yep, I think with this cease and desist, they may have to stop. They may have to change their name. I'm not sure, but good luck going up against Frito-Lay with your Peetos.
I don't know anything that has peas in the title is all that fascinating. I don't want it.
I'm curious. I will try Peetos, and then I'll buy some Cheetos because I know they're not going to be as good.
Right.
And this week we are learning some interesting things about the British royals. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Prince Harry and his new bride, Meghan Markle.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the speculation is they're going to have children pretty quickly.
All the royals just seem to hash them out like crazy. I wonder if before you marry a royal, boy or a girl, they test you to make sure you can have babies.
Oh, I bet they would do.
Bet they do.
Wow, I never even
Even
thought
if
of
they
that.
don't tell you. You got to go to the doctor, get a pap smear or something like that. And the doctor's just looking around and make sure your eggs look nice. That's just for boys.
All right, we're finding out some interesting information about Harry and Meghan. If they do have children,
Yeah.
they will not have custody of those kids.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It turns out the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, William and Kate, Prince William and Kate, they don't have custody over their children. George, Charlotte,
Weird system
and
they
Louis.
got going on over there.
It's weird. It's a name-only thing. It's got to be. You can't take people's, they're nice, normal folks, except for they're royal.
Their kids are owned by Parliament or something.
By the crown or something, I'll bet.
Yep. Most people, they say, don't know this, but according to royal historians, Prince William and Kate do not have legal custody of their own children. They belong to the Queen.
Yeah.
They said the sovereign
So weird.
has legal custody of minor grandchildren. This goes back to King George, who ruled in the 1700s, and the law has never been changed. He did it because he had a very poor relationship with his son, so they had this law passed, meaning the king would be guardian of the grandchildren. 300 years later, all the kids are actually the guardian is the queen.
Now, is anything going to come of this? Are they going to either change the law? Are the Queen going to try and grab these kids in a plot? Or is everybody going to just let it go the way it's been for 300 years?
Yeah, it seems like everyone's just going to let it go because it's never been an issue. Like the queen's not like, hey, I'm taking custody of George. He doesn't live with you guys anymore.
Right. I don't think she's 100. She ain't grabbing up no little kid and chasing him around the palace.
It's still pretty weird.
It is pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
That's the big news of the day, which is brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online at goldbergjones.com.
All right, stick around. Everybody's favorite coming right up. It's Jelly Bean's Joke of the Week.
And now, Jelly Bean's Joke of the Week.
Good morning there, Uncle Danny.
Good morning there.
Can I tell you a joke now?
Absolutely.
What award did I give to my dentist?
Let me think about this. I do not know. What award did you give to your dentist?
A little plaque. That's funny, but it's not true. I'm still a member of the No Cavity Club.
Really?
Aww.
Pretty awesome. I see. A few years back, I had no idea what an app is. Now I'm partly employed by the coolest app you ever saw. It's the iHeart Radio app, and it's all your favorite music, all your favorite stations, and all free of charge right there. It's KZOK, the iHeart Radio are giving you your weekly mixtape. Remember that from the 80s, the mixtapes? Well, now you get your personal playlist, and it's based on the music that you love. The more you thumb up and save songs, the more you improve and update your mixtape. So just open the iHeart Radio app and find yours right now.
We were talking in the news about a restaurant death threats after changing their fries from crinkle cut to straight.
Seems like a bit of an overreaction.
I understand why people are upset. I don't
but
understand death threats.
Death, I don't know. I mean, the fries must have been great.
Yeah.
It's upsetting people. You know, it's a restaurant that's been in their town for 50 years or something. And it's like, it's the end of the world as they know it. You know, no more crinkle cut fries.
All right, I'm going to take responsibility for this, but what's the name of that restaurant that has the giant menus?
Oh, the Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the Cheesecake Factory for years in Chicago and other places, but it was in the base of my building in Chicago, and they had a drink called the JW Pink Lemonade, which was like the greatest alcoholic drink you ever had in your whole life. And I got it for years. And one day I went into the bartender and I said, JW Pink Lemonade, please? And he said, huh? And they had taken it off the menu so much that the new bartender had never even heard of it.
Oh.
That's crazy. So I threatened some limes. And you know what? After about a year or two, they brought that drink back.
Oh,
Because of
really?
you.
Yeah, the JW Pink Lemonade. I'll take credit.
You saved the day.
So death threats, you're saying, do work.
Oh, yeah. I say they're a bad idea, but if you do it properly, you'll probably get what you want.
You know, some people mourn the end of something. And the other day, somebody said, oh, look at the new building where the original Red Robin used to be. And everyone was like, oh, that's so sad. It's not there anymore. And they're like, it was actually really gross. And the building was falling apart and it needed to come to an end.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes you react because it's just always been in your life.
Then if you see a place and just because it's been there forever and maybe it doesn't belong there, how come we're all flipping out about the showbox? But we are. That's coming to an end. You're not going to see it. You won't be
People
able
are
to
upset
recognize it when it's done. I think you will be upset about it. The showbox is a good one.
Well, that's a great example. You know, when did the end of something bum you out? Potentially the end of the showbox. For sure.
I would bet heavily on the end of the showbox that that's what's coming.
When did the end of something totally bum you out? That's the question we'll pose to you. And call us with your answer, 800-252-1025, or you can text in 90627.
So this restaurant in Maine has been getting death threats, I say, after changing from crinkle cut fries to straight fries. The question to you is, when did the end of something totally bum you out? 1-800-252-1025, or you can text us at 90627. And I will tell you this was the end of an era for me. When Bellevue Pub, or Belltown Pub rather, great place, and love it. You can take the kids there, even though there's a bar, and I really like that place. They stopped serving ramen. And they would think some pub serving ramen. It was great ramen. And then they just stopped one day. Sorry. Thank you. The manager came up when I was there one time because I cried about it on the radio. And he came up and said, I'm really sorry about
But he didn't come up and bring you any ramen.
He did not make me some ramen.
Our text line is blowing up with the same answer, the Kingdom. Everybody, people even saying they cried when the Kingdom came down. Even though that place was falling apart at the end, you know, it was actually falling on people's heads as they attended events.
Let's talk to Lenny in Tacoma. When did the end of something totally bum you out?
Hey, morning, guys.
Good morning, Lenny.
Hey, first of all, before I tell you, I want to say, while I was on hold, I had a fish on, and instead of hanging up, I held onto the phone and I lost the fish, but you guys are more important than fish.
Wow.
That is coming from Lenny. That's a big deal, man.
Anyway, mine was I was devastated when the Twinkies went away. I grew up on those things. I was used to smelling them at the factory and everything.
Yes.
And I know that they've come back, but I'm still not over the initial shock that they went away.
No, I think you're right, buddy, because we all talked about that at great
I
length.
smelled it every morning
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
way to work. That made me so
too.
sad.
And I also missed the Twinkies.
I remember just that smell. There was just something about it. It was absolutely, undeniably the smell of a Twinkie.
Yeah, Twinkies being
baked
made,
fresh
yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah, it's like when you walk by these ice cream cones or ice cream places in Bellevue that I go to, or not in Bellevue, in Fremont, and you can just smell the waffle cones
Waffle
being made.
cone,
That's one of
yeah.
the best.
Yep. We're asking, when did the end of something totally bum you out? Let's hear from Albert in Bellevue.
Hey, Albert.
Morning, guys. How's everybody?
Everybody's good. Thanks. What's up?
Man, the day they sold the Sonics and the Sonic flew to Oklahoma City, I got crazy drunk. I was that devastated.
Oh,
Yeah, me too. I got crazy drunk.
That same day and the day before.
Yeah, day before
the
and a couple of days after. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you now that I am a Seattleite for the past 7 or 8 years, whatever it's been. You can actually feel that pain. People are still very, very upset by that.
We're asking, when did the end of something totally bum you out? I'll say the TV show Lost. It was the worst ending ever.
Beat Seinfeld?
Oh, what? It was the worst ending of a television show ever.
Then I'll take that as yes, because remember, they all went to jail in the end of
Yeah, I was
Seinfeld
okay
for
with
not
that.
helping a guy, really?
Oh, totally fine.
I don't remember Lost. I remember because I never saw it, but they had a polar bear, and I never forgave him.
Stupid. Sam in Everett, when did the end of something totally bum you out?
When we were kids, we had a station wagon, and Dad would load a mattress into the station wagon. We'd drive into the drive-in movie, and he'd put the mattress on top. We'd crawl up there and watch the movie, and him and Mom would make out in the car, I think.
Aw.
But
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You'd hang the speaker in the window, and you just listen to it. It was just a great time.
Yep.
You don't
Now,
have that anymore.
I don't know. I don't know about you, Sam, or if you know this or not, but it's kind of the end of an era because he said, man, we'd hang that speaker in the car. Do you guys remember when you stopped doing that? They kept the drive-in but got rid of the speaker.
And you tuned in on the
Tuned
radio.
it in on your radio. So better sound by far, but the end of an era totally.
I have never been to a drive-in theater, and I am thinking I never will because we've got like 2 in the entire state.
Yeah, and it doesn't get dark here early enough. You'll be
Right.
up late if you go to a drive-in.
When did the end of something totally bum you out? We're talking about this because a Maine restaurant changed their fries from crinkle cut to straight. The end of an era, and people are giving them death threats. Trucker Andy's calling from Olympia. Good morning.
Good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
I mean, you people.
All right, fair
Well,
enough.
Danny, sir, actually, I got 2.
Me
The
too.
end of eras of things that really bummed me out. Number one, that I had to leave high school because I loved high school. I had way too much fun.
I know, but once you're 30, they're like, come on,
Especially get you out of the locker room.
Trucker Andy.
Out eventually. And then number 2, the end of an era when I got beyond my 20s.
Yeah, for a lot of people, turning 30 really bummed them out at the end of your 20s.
Yeah.
All right, I wasn't going to throw this in, but I will. I remember I pulled up to the studio one day and they said, oh, the Partridge Family's canceled. And I had pulled into work rich and famous. And I made a U-turn out of the studio to get out and just pulled out a has-been. Drive in famous, pull out has-been. I was very upset. That was the end of a real era.
The end of the Partridge Family, something that
Bastards.
bummed you out.
You weren't famous anymore, but you were still rich. You had all that Partridge Family money.
Oh, loaded with the Partridge Family money.
When did the end of something totally bum you out? That's the question we're asking. Let's hear from Brent in Port Townsend.
Hey, good morning. Great show, you guys.
Thank you.
Come to Port Townsend to see a drive-in.
Oh, you
Is
have
that
one?
where it
right.
is?
They've got one.
Right on.
Absolutely.
I would love to
See
come
you there,
see it.
Brent.
So I really bummed out when the FCC decided to come down on everybody a few years ago. They changed all the words of my songs, and I reeled in the crazy DJs.
There used to be a little more lackadaisical with song censorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had, the only time I had seen it, like, because they certainly with the rap music, we put in the goat screaming and stuff like that. But I remember there was a terrible plane crash, and I went to work, and there was a big note saying, do not play any of Alanis Morissette's Isn't It Ironic? And I could not for the life of me figure out what they were talking about. And it's because that one line, when the plane crashed down. And it's,
yeah.
so that's when I noticed they started, like, editing parts that you could play.
Let's hear from.
And by the way, can I just say I'm super glad they reeled in the obnoxious DJ. I know that I may come off obnoxious every now and again, but those people that called up people and said, "Oh, we're the school. Your son's been in a terrible accident." Those guys
prank phone
that
call
thought that
stuff,
was
yeah.
super funny. That Opie and Anthony guy that had a couple have sex in St. Patrick's or St. Anthony's Cathedral in New York.
James in Bothell, when did the end of something totally bum you out?
Yeah, when they stopped making the 60s and 70s Volkswagen Beetles and microbuses, they stopped making them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here is the good news, because I do keep my eye on things like that, because there's certain kind of cars I really want, but I can't afford. Both the VW Bug, including the commercial and the microbus and the right microbus, are still affordable. Now, they have a microbus called the 21 Windows. It has 21 windows in it. And that's over $1 million. And it's a Volkswagen bus. But you can still get yourself a pre-1972 Volkswagen Bug for a reasonable fee.
Dominic in Tacoma, when did the end of something bum you out?
Yeah, the end of the Seahawks-Patriots game there.
Super Bowl.
I'm still thinking about that call.
You're not the only one.
So
I can't believe it. I mean, I was bummed by it, but some people just still aren't over it.
You got it.
For example, Dominic.
Sabrina in Seattle, when did the end of something bum you out?
Pluto, no longer being a planet.
Pluto no longer being a planet.
It goes back and forth, right? I think right now it is a planet.
They've taken that designation away from a couple of places. You're a planet. No,
All
you're
right,
not.
what's the dwarf something? Something's a dwarf star?
Dwarf star.
Dwarf star? Is that what those things are now?
Yeah.
Because I can't keep track. But yeah, Pluto is not a planet. I didn't know they gave it back its status.
I think they did.
What's Uranus doing?
It's Uranus now.
Well, I
They
hate
took
that.
its
It's an
name
end of an
away.
era, too.
Good morning, Haji and Polsbo.
Hey, Haji.
Good morning. I was totally bummed out and still am about Tom Petty passing away because I never got the chance to see the guy.
Yeah, that's...
And he wrote so many good songs. But I don't think he did a bad one. And, you know, I always liked to play and sing his songs when I was playing in my band. And, yeah, it just totally bummed me.
I bet. Bummed us all.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
never got to see him either. And I've seen a fair amount of concerts. I never got to see Tom Petty.
When did the end of something totally bum you out, Michael in Kirkland?
Hey, Michael.
Monday through Friday when your guys' show is over.
Can you repeat the last part of that? What'd you say? Yeah, just want to make
Doing
sure.
that with his mouth?
He's doing it with his mouth and his hands is my money.
Wow, he's amazing.
He's a talented bastard. You should be on the radio. Hey,
Seriously.
I'll give you an ending that just bugged me, and I was shocked that they did it. Denny's no longer gives you a free birthday meal. You can't just walk in there any day of the year and say, it's my birthday. And they'll go, I don't care. Do you want a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity or whatever you get?
I didn't know they ended that.
Yeah. Well, maybe the guy was lying to me, but I think that's what it was.
A couple of recent ones from the text line, no more Polish dogs at Costco.
Crazy.
Up in arms about that.
And that's a good one.
And Yo texted in, Toys R Us closing down.
Yep.
Bums me out.
Totally true. Yeah.
Bums me out, too. We didn't buy a lot of stuff there, but
I
it was
did.
fun to go to that
You were
store.
the problem.
You know what I
must
did?
be, yeah.
You know what I did that was normal with my family, my kids specifically, though, that it was just so much. We went to Blockbusters and Toys R Us often in the same day. It was like the best, cleanest fun. Because somebody's always freaking out. If your name's Bonaduce, you want to kill somebody over something most of the time. But we'd go to Blockbuster and Toys R Us, and everything would be good.
Yeah.
Paul, what is something that the end of it really bummed you out?
My hometown brewery where I grew up, Sierra Nevada, which now is everywhere.
Yeah.
But my favorite beer that they used to make and retired was Sierra Nevada Wheat. And it was just an unfiltered American wheat beer, which was fantastic. It was a little maltier, which I like. And they retired that beer. And they actually did it before I turned 21, so I never legally got to enjoy my favorite beer. I wish that somebody, like, if I would have thought of it, to put some aside and wait till I was 21 to legally enjoy a Sierra Nevada wheat. But
You should write them a letter.
I should, yeah.
Yeah, bring
they
it back.
can make a case just for me.
Tori, when did the end of something totally bum you out?
The Kingfish Cafe in downtown Seattle. Has anyone been there?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The best Southern food ever. They had a foot-tall red velvet cake with maple whipped cream, and I'm just so devastated that it's
So
About
they're
what?
They're gone?
They closed.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That is a bummer. And I never had the red velvet cake.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah.
And Derek, when did the end of something totally bum you out?
No more arcades in shopping malls. Every shopping mall when I was a kid had like a super big, awesome arcade that you could just nerd out, and now there's nothing.
And parents could dump their annoying kids off, Derek, at the give them a roll of quarters or whatever it was. And then, by the way, nothing takes quarters anymore. That's crazy with that.
Great calls and texts. Thanks, everybody. We will be back in mere moments with your news. News is brought to you by Johnson RV. Terrible news this morning. A young child was killed in a fire that broke out at an Auburn apartment building early this morning. Firefighters were called to the Clearwater Ridge Apartments on Auburn Way South just after 3 a.m. They'd gotten reports of smoke and flames coming from the top floor. Crews were able to confine the fire to just one unit, but upon entering, they found the 2-year-old girl had not survived. An adult and 2 other children inside were able to get out safely, and investigators believe the fire began in the girl's bedroom, but do not yet know what started the blaze.
Yikes. That's so sad.
More bad news in the news. Another cat was killed and mutilated in Thurston County, the 9th in the past few weeks.
How's this guy getting away with it? They're cats. They yell.
Yeah. And now that the reward keeps getting raised, do you think certainly people there in that area are keeping an eye out for it?
I would assume so. And oddly enough, the cops or whoever is in charge are saying that they believe that this guy, who's ever doing it, has some sort of medical training.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is just what they said about Jack the Ripper.
Yeah,
had medical training.
The money is up to $21,000
Yikes.
to help find this suspect. So please, if you know anything, contact the authorities. Just a terrible person.
And whatever comes next is worse.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're one of those crazy ladies that think cats are people, you're mistaken. They're not little people in fur coats. That's nuts. But whatever's coming next is going to be worse. This guy's not stopping with cats.
Yeah.
He's going into detail.
Residents in Hawaii rushed to grocery stores yesterday to stock up on bottled water, ramen, and toilet paper as they faced the threat of heavy rain, flash flooding, and high surf from an erratic hurricane whose path is still uncertain. There's a hurricane watch for Hawaii, Maui, and the smaller islands. Tropical storm force winds could be arriving. They say that it's possible Oahu and Kauai will also be included in this watch. They're keeping an eye on it to see which way it goes. But
I don't want to say serves you right or anything like that, especially if anybody's dead.
It seems like you do want to say it.
No,
though.
I don't. I don't want to say serves you right. But you've been thumbing your nose at me. I live in paradise. I have 3 friends that live and moved over the last 20 years to Hawaii. And it's like, hey, when are you going to come over? When are you going to stop waking up at 4 in the morning? Dan, come here and eat some, I don't know, Cheetos, whatever they have, Spam, and be in paradise. Well, now your paradise is under lava and rain. Chop on you.
I'm with you, man. People who have nice things deserve to be
That's
punished.
totally true.
Right.
It should be the answer to the question, this is why we can't have nice things. It should be, Paul and Danny, because they say so.
Paul Manafort, the longtime political operative who for months led Donald Trump's winning presidential campaign, was found guilty of 8 financial crimes yesterday in the first trial victory of the special counsel investigating into the president's associates. A judge did declare mistrial on the 10 other counts that the jury could not agree upon. And this was a 1-2 punch of bad news for the White House, coming as the president's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, was found. They said he has gotten a plea deal together, pleading guilty to several counts.
You know, if this goes anywhere near as bad as it can go for Manafort, I'd run. I'm not going to do it, even if it's a federal prison where you get to play tennis. And I also have a friend in federal prison, that Kevin Trudeau guy. You know, even if you get to play tennis and it's prison. And if that guy's as rich as he looks, and one of the ways he made money, public speaking for Russia.
Yeah.
He has friends in Russia with money. Go there.
He's not free though. Cohen's out free, you know, out on bail or whatever. But Manafort's in jail because
when did that start? I actually didn't know that.
Because of the jury tampering for the next trial. So he's believed to have tampered with the jury for the next trial or tried to intimidate.
And he's incarcerated.
Or witnesses rather. Yeah. So he's.
Well, I'd still run. I just don't know how.
Yeah, right. You just got to bust out first.
A strange occurrence on a United Airlines flight. And no, this is not a repeat story. A federal air marshal was mistaken by a flight attendant for a gun-toting civilian passenger who she then called authorities, and he was removed from the plane upon arrival at the Twin Cities airport. He was handcuffed on the tarmac along with a fellow marshal and taken into custody. They're trying to figure out how this flight attendant mistook the air marshal for a regular passenger.
Because they're narcs. They don't wear a badge.
Yeah, I would have thought that they don't know who the air marshal is.
That would be the point of it, to not know. So it seems odd. But when somebody says, hey, you have a gun, that's when you'd say, especially if they work for the airlines, you'd say, well, I'm an air marshal.
Yeah.
Protocol says you notify that you are an air marshal. They're supposed to be told. The TSA is trying to figure out who went wrong here. Did the air marshal fail? Did the flight attendant not understand? They can't figure out how this happened. And as you can imagine, the air marshals are kind of mad because they were handcuffed on the tarmac and taken into custody.
Because I'm thinking, this seems to be an almost misunderstanding, and that's where that gun is going to go in handcuffs. But the Sky Cops being handcuffed, I bet they hated that.
Yeah.
By the way, now you know what it feels like.
Deputies say a mother in California allowed her 15-year-old daughter to operate a pot shop out of her bedroom. Merced County deputies executed a marijuana cultivation search warrant at their home, and in her room, in this kid's room, they found marijuana packaged for sale. They found edibles. They also found 80 pounds of weed in the master bedroom, 2 large marijuana plants in a greenhouse, and a sign on the teenage daughter's door that said, "It's the law. You must be 15 years of age or older to purchase weed."
What the hell's happening here?
Well, mom and dad were taken into custody, and as you can imagine, they're facing some pretty serious charges.
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose custody of the 15-year-old at least for a little while they straighten stuff out.
Yeah.
But that's outlandish.
It's Merced, though. What else is there to do besides grow pot?
Pot. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, is this Northern California?
Kind of, central Northern California.
It's a place called Delhi.
Delhi?
Delhi.
As in New Delhi?
Yes.
Except they don't have a New Delhi, so it's just Delhi?
An even newer Delhi.
Yeah, okay.
There is a tiny little town in North Carolina that's making big news. It's nestled at the edge of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Marion, North Carolina. They have a population of about 7,800, but they have declared their official animal, the official animal of the town,
Dolly Parton.
Bigfoot.
Oh,
I hate these guys.
Bigfoot has been seen all over the country, as you know, Danny, because you started a movie with him.
Yeah, I did.
And while the mayor...
That was some great acting on my part, because as amazingly authentic as that Bigfoot was in that movie, it wasn't really there. So me, Barry Williams, and Alice Cooper had to pretend we were seeing a giant Bigfoot, but we weren't really.
So you didn't get to work directly with the Bigfoot?
No, never even met the man.
Wow.
Same guy that played Chewbacca, I believe, played that, yeah.
Well, the mayor says he does have to admit he has never actually seen Bigfoot, but he knows he's out there. And Bigfoot is now the official animal of Marion, North Carolina.
I don't even know that it's an animal.
Yeah, I guess that's a little confusing because
are we animals?
Oh,
an animal.
Yeah,
it's an animal.
Good call.
I know I'm an animal.
It doesn't stop people from looking for Bigfoot, even though no one's ever really seen him.
No, we've met some real Bigfoot enthusiasts here in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, I feel like I'd like to go out on a search for Bigfoot, just not with any of the people who would actually do that.
Or know that any of the people who'd actually do that if they're armed in any way. I'm not going to the woods with you guys.
Exactly.
To find a monster that smells like skunk, man, guns are going to go off in all directions.
There's a photo posted to Instagram that shows something very strange happening in Key Largo, Florida. Well, a lot of stuff that happens in Florida is super strange. But
Strange. I've actually been to Key Largo, and it was fun.
I hear the Florida Keys are beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
But turns out they have crocodiles, and those crocodiles know how to use noodles.
Is that true?
There is a photograph.
Like their noodles? That crocodile's using its noodles? Or
like spaghetti?
Yeah. Or I was
Neither.
thinking ramen, but
None of the above.
Oh.
It's
What's
a
left?
pool noodle.
Oh.
There is a picture that is circulating the internet showing a crocodile crossing a canal using a pool noodle.
That's awesome. I would
crazy.
not kill, skin, and eat that crocodile now. He's cool. using his noodle.
But can it swim on its own? Why does it need a noodle?
Because can't you swim on your own?
Yeah.
Did you ever go use a noodle?
Yeah.
Okay, me too.
Don't we? I thought we didn't have crocodiles. I thought we had alligators.
We where?
I don't know. In the U.S. We have
No,
both?
gosh, no.
Crocodiles and alligators?
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess I thought wrong.
Crocodiles are found in a lot of the waters around the Florida Keys, but are considered shy. And
What about
elusive.
caimans? Do we have caimans?
Which one's a caiman?
Look them up. They look exactly like crocodiles and alligators. Why do we need a whole third species?
Right.
Is it smaller? What's the difference?
It might be smaller. I don't know, but they look just the same.
Derek, do we have caimans? Sorry. Okay, Alexa.
What's the net worth of a caiman?
I will have to look up a caiman just to see a picture because I am curious. Is that where the Cayman Islands are named after?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't even know how to spell it.
C-A-Y.
Oh, yeah, okay. It is an alligatoroid crocodilian belonging to the subfamily Caymaninae.
It's both.
It's an alligator
It's
and
wrestle it to the ground.
an alligator and a crocodile.
Take
had a
away its
baby,
noodle.
And it's a caiman. Oh, I want one. How do we get one?
Same
Derek,
family.
We steal one or
Find
buy
out
one.
how we buy a caiman.
Cayman's teeth are longer and more narrow, and they are more agile.
Their teeth are more agile?
They are more agile just in general. All right, there we go.
There we go.
I'm trying to figure out if they're in Florida.
Oh, I can buy a dwarf caiman.
Yeah, you can.
Little person caiman.
No, it's I don't
It's
think
a
it's little,
see?
little caiman.
This is why I rebel against you two.
I think I have to go to the UK to buy a dwarf caiman.
Nah, they're here. We'll
Derek
get
will
it.
take care of it for you.
Thank you.
Forget candy bars. Chicago is all about leafy greens in their vending machines.
No. I was at no when you just said forget about candy bars.
That was a solid and complete argument.
Yeah,
No.
This is a pretty amazing invention that this guy made. And he was tired of not being able to find healthy alternatives in the vending machine.
Yeah.
So he has created a salad vending machine. You go to the vending machine and the two of you are growling.
Yes.
You know, you can pick and choose everything you want.
No, a vending machine is supposed to be one thing: junk.
Junk, absolutely. You know what this guy should do is you get one of those 3D printers and print a pair of nards, put them on, and stop being an idiot.
Well, the industry is going in a healthier direction, and he said he now has more than 170 salad vending machines.
All right.
Good for him.
No. No. We're against it.
Well, if you like...
What candy bar are you thinking of right now, Paul?
Snickers.
All right. See, I got a Kit Kat, and I don't even like them that much, but they're good. I'll take
Three
one.
Musketeers.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
None of that in his vending machine, though.
Nope.
No.
Salad.
Salads.
Salad.
And the salad shooter. Salad shooter.
For those of you who would rather have some pasta,
Yeah, what vending machine does that come in?
it's not a vending machine, but it's Olive Garden, who have announced they are offering the Pasta Pass.
Well, that'll eventually happen if you eat enough.
It's a 52-week pass that goes on sale, and you get, let's see, unlimited access to Olive Garden for $100.
What is that? I think I understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, but I'm not sure.
You buy it's a little bit confusing because there's two different passes you can buy, but last year they did this, and you can go to Olive Garden and have unlimited servings for a year.
For $100?
There's two different kinds you can buy. You can do a 52-week. You can do an 8-week, depending on how much pasta you feel like eating. Right. For either $300 or $100.
I watch my carbs, man, but I like Olive Garden, and that seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Plus, don't you immediately have a baby or something when you eat there? I forget how that rule
right
goes.
away. Bam, there's the kid. It's amazing how that can happen.
When Amy and I were having sex on the table, they said that's not the way that works, man. You come back later and eat the salad sticks or whatever they're called.
Unlimited salad sticks.
Unlimited salad sticks. They're everywhere, those things.
And then you have a baby.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to tell my kids when they're old enough. They're like 30, but they'll be old enough soon.
Where do babies come from? The salad sticks
The
at
salad
Olive Garden.
sticks, exactly right. Uncle Paul will tell you.
Couple weeks ago, Danny got the building here at work into a bit of a tizzy by playing on the train tracks.
Yeah, I still don't fully understand that.
People were worried, more worried than I wasn't worried.
Why would anybody be worried? Didn't you used to walk on train tracks innocently when you were a child?
Yeah.
Why would I walk on some train tracks that become somebody filmed me?
Because I think there's a thought that you're a grown up now.
Well, that's a stupid
You're
thought.
not supposed to do that.
Look at my clothes.
It's trespassing. It's dangerous. And you were like going, doop.
I don't believe that it's trespassing at all, not even a little.
I couldn't hear on the video the doopy doopy doo, but I would imagine that it was that.
That's what I was saying, doopy.
Well, I don't know why you said this, Danny, but you tried to get Paul just a few moments ago to go play on the train tracks with you.
Yeah, we're gonna hop
and then
hop a train.
Hop
yeah.
a train
Ride the rails
to Disneyland.
to Disneyland. Yeah, I still think it's a good idea.
I'm pretty sure that's not where that train goes.
It gets surprisingly cold. I remember that the last time I did this. Of course, I was 12. Well, let's bring coats.
Okay.
A couple, a girl and her boyfriend, guy and a girl, they're happily in love. And they decided to go to the happiest place on earth. And both dropped to one knee to propose to the other at the same time, unbeknownst to the other person.
Oh,
What do you mean?
What part of don't you get? You want me to spell it for you? You spell it.
Yeah. Spell it.
So the girl drops to her knee and pulls a ring out of her pocket. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm doing the same thing. And he drops to his knee. And they both just had the same plan to propose to each other at Disney.
Do you believe it?
Do I believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
that
it.
they didn't know the other
that
one
they
was
didn't
going to
plan
do
it out.
They just happened to go down at the same time, and nobody said what somebody else was halfway done. Wait!
Was there a camera crew there?
Yeah, are there pictures?
Well, you know that this is a trend in engagement now. You do hire somebody to hide in the bushes and be creepy and take pictures of your engagement.
And did they do that?
They did.
Which one of them?
It's been viewed 3.19 million times.
It must be better than the picture I have in my head. The picture I have in my head is a couple of losers down on their knees at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super nerds. The guy got her a Disney-inspired engagement ring.
All right. I mean, it's not for me, but I get it now. All right.
I had a friend who got married, and then the honeymoon was at Disney. I probably shouldn't say this because he's in the radio business and is probably listening. Hi, Woody. So then he gets a divorce.
Well, that's the way to hide it. Say his name.
He gets remarried, goes on his honeymoon to Disney with another wife. Doesn't that seem sacrilegious?
You know, it does. And I would never, ever, ever, ever do it because I'd be so mad if somebody did that to me.
Yeah.
Like, Amy'd been to Europe when she was a student and things like that. And I just assumed she went with a boy or met a boy or something there. And I said, well, I'm never going to Paris or Spain with you ever, no matter what. Turned out she was a kid and she was with school or whatever the hell it was. But you know what's weird is it doesn't bother her. If I said, oh, I really wanted to take you to Croatia, but I was there with Gretchen and we had a pretty good time, she'd go, well, so take me to Croatia.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'd kill somebody. I'd kill a Croatian.
If you were, sorry, Amy's married and she gets a divorce, but when she was married, she went on vacation to Croatia.
Right.
Or if you and Gretchen had gone on honeymoon to Croatia.
I won't go to Croatia now because of this
Just 'cause we
conversation.
talked about it, yeah.
But it's the fact that it's your honeymoon.
Yeah.
Like that was.
And I was doing a lot more of it when I was 28 than when I was 58.
Hey, that was your news, which was brought to you by Johnson RV. But wait, there's more. Oh, when we come back with music news, Aerosmith, not so happy with a certain politician. We'll tell you more. One of the TV shows, very, very popular TV show, has been canceled, and people are kind of freaked out about this. I'll explain. Plus, we've got all the latest Mariners and Seahawks news next in sports. Starting with music news, there are reports this morning that Steven Tyler has sent a cease and desist letter to the White House demanding that President Donald Trump stop using Aerosmith songs at his rallies. Now, they had used Livin' on the Edge August 21st. Oh, that's today. Yesterday. Yeah, so yesterday in West Virginia, there was a rally, and that's when they used Livin' on the Edge. And
I was going to say, why would they use Dude Looks Like a Lady? What does that get you?
And he said, Steven Tyler, this is enough. He's used our songs in the past. We want it to stop. We don't support him, and he does not have our permission.
Right.
So he sent a cease and desist.
Now, I got to tell you, because this has been done before, Springsteen told Reagan or Bush, I guess Bush, and people stopped doing it. But I'm thinking about it now. Do you have a legal right? I'm playing it. We're playing it right now.
Yeah, but I mean, we pay royalties. Like, we have subscriptions to services to allow us to play it. We have to have special permission.
Right. But at what point is he, because why isn't he just playing it on his record player in a big building full of people?
It's different when you publicly broadcast it. So if he plays it through a PA system to a room full of people, then he's publicly broadcasting.
All right, not going to bat for him or anything, but isn't it CBS or so that's broadcasting it to people? Isn't he just walking out?
It's still something you can ask somebody to stop doing because they are not being compensated, and there's something, I forget what the term is, but it's implying that they are supporting and gave permission to do so. So, I mean, this happens, I would say, probably every single election.
Yes, it does.
Somebody says, stop using our music.
On both sides of the aisle. It's, yeah.
Yep.
Although Republicans usually hate it less than Democrats do. It's like the more Democrats, like, they kind of almost mean no harm. You know what I mean? It's like they're not saying the kind of outlandish stuff that Republicans seem to say.
You don't think there's like Ted Nugent out there going? I think it's less likely that, say, Hillary Clinton would play a Ted Nugent song.
Yeah, Ted Nugent going out there going, "Come on, man, free college for everybody in medicine."
One of a child's most iconic foods in a can is back with a new ad campaign, and two very famous yet an unusual pairing people are coming together for this campaign.
Cannot wait.
It is the Throwback Recipe Series from Chef Boyardee.
I thought he was dead.
It features Donny Osmond and Lil Yachty.
Donny Osmond, got it.
And Lil Yachty.
That's a guy.
What's a Little Yachty?
Little Yachty's a pretty popular R&B/hip hop artist who's been out for probably a couple years now, doing some big
I
songs.
thought it was the small boat that they hang off the back of a big boat. This is my yacht. That's my little Yachty right there. It's adorable.
So they are getting together for a commercial, and they both sing. Would you like to hear some of it?
Oh, more than anything, yeah.
More cheese, more meat, more goodness.
So Lil Yachty's doing the mixing, and he's singing and he's mixing in the old Chef Boyardee song. And then Donny Osmond, who's, of course, eating some Chef Boyardee, walks over, and then he needs to get in on the singing.
Older, younger, and in between. You see that we all agree. We like tomatoes, more beef and cheese.
I'd like to go on record saying how much I hate this guy, but it's so good.
I mean,
It's
if you
so
put
good.
them next to each other, certainly this is the pick.
You know, the only thing that gives me any comfort at all is I have punched this guy in the face repeatedly. So that makes me feel a little bit better. But it's good. You got to give it to him. He's a really good singer.
Yeah.
He came into my studio in Philly before I punched him in the face and played and sang unaccompanied, just him on a little electric piano, and it was amazing. Then I went and saw Mulan, that movie Mulan from Disney. That was his voice. He did all the singing for Mulan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you can see the full commercial online now, but it's all about the Throwback Recipe Series, Chef Boyardee.
But I go with poor Chef Boyardee is dead. That's what I'm
Okay.
thinking anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of sad they don't give him a salute or anything. Guy gave his life for ravioli.
He's probably been dead for
I
like
don't think he
50
died
years.
yesterday.
When did he die?
I don't know. But
Chef Boyardee's been around forever.
Yeah, it has. I love Chef Boyardee. Almost replaced by SpaghettiOs, the neat new spaghetti you can eat with a spoon, but it wasn't. The Chef Boyardee's better.
Okay, Google. What year did Chef Boyardee die?
1985.
Thank you very
Wow,
much.
it's way more recently than I thought.
Well, it's a weird collaboration. It's an awesome collaboration. And speaking of, September 21st and 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, baby, it's our iHeartRadio Music Festival. So many different artists are going to be there, plus collaborations you will not see anywhere else. I don't know if anyone's doing the Chef Boyardee song.
Oh, I
but
sure hope they do.
Me too.
there will be performances by Fleetwood Mac, Leonard Skinner, Justin Timberlake, Mariah Carey, Jack White, and many, many more. You could be headed to this show on us, including hotel, airfare for two. You're just listening for the new keyword. You text it to 200-200 for your shot to win. You can get all the info at KZOK.com.
Yeah, this seems like it's awesome.
Netflix has set Friday, September 14th for the premiere of Norm Macdonald has a show. This is a new talk show being fronted by the comedian and ex-SNLer Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, I don't know how you keep track of who's watching what for what. The rating system is really different for those kind of channels than it is for networks and things like that. I love Norm Macdonald, but I think he couldn't be a worse choice for a talk show.
Yeah, I don't get it. And I like him a lot, too.
He talks at this pace. That'd drive me crazy right there.
Yeah.
Well, he has a lot of celebrity guests already lined up. Drew Barrymore, David Spade, Judge Judy, David Letterman, Jane Fonda, Chevy Chase, M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, Michael Keaton, and Lorne Michaels from
That's
SNL.
a really nice lineup. The best one's going to be Lorne Michaels because he was fired like with no ceremony at all. They just fired Norm Macdonald in the middle of a broadcast. The head of NBC said, "I hate that guy. Get rid of him." And Norm was gone the next day. So I'll bet they're going to ask questions about that.
Yeah.
He'll definitely get good guests, I think, because he has so many famous friends. But also, I think people just really like Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, I really do.
Fox has renewed interactive music game show Beat Shazam for a third season, and Jamie Foxx will return as host and executive producer for season 3.
The Academy Award-winning game show host. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's getting a lot of viewers. They said it's been very, very popular, and a lot of engagements on social media, which is something they track as well. It's the summer's most broadcast game show. It's getting 19 million engagements on social channels. And they said Shazam also is lining up celebrity guest stars. Like last night, it was Shaquille O'Neal, Lance Bass, Joey McIntyre. They've gotten...
Wait, who was it?
Shaquille O'Neal, Lance Bass, and Joey McIntyre were on last night's episode of Shazam.
In 2 different boy bands, those two. That's why I asked. That's kind of weird. That's funny.
Mariah Carey, Snoop Dogg, Odell Beckham Jr., Michael Bolton, Smokey Robinson.
And are they contestants or judges or what?
They, I think, are participants. So there's different facets of how the game actually works. So Jamie Foxx is the DJ, and then there's interaction.
I thought it was
His
something,
daughter
and now I don't know why I think this. I thought it was kind of like Name That Tune.
No, that's what I think too, even without seeing it, because Shazam it's an app for identifying music. You play music.
He's getting paid twice.
Yeah, because Shazam's paying for the sponsorship too.
Because I did not get that. Shazam's a terrible superhero that nobody cares about.
The show pits 3 teams of 2 against a clock and each other as they attempt to identify hit songs. In the end, the team with the most money that they have banked throughout the game.
Has to give it to Lance Bass.
And Venezuela has pulled the TV show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Why, you ask?
Why, I ask?
Because $1 million is worth about $5. So Who Wants to Be a Millionaire basically means nothing.
Because their currency is so devalued.
Which would explain the $50 trillion Zimbabwe money we have around here.
I'm sure Who Wants to Be a Millionaire isn't popular in Zimbabwe.
Right, it's like,
either.
are you kidding? I lost money.
They said, for example, to buy a chicken costs $15 million.
Well, that's a spendy chicken.
Yeah, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Nobody. They cannot figure out a way to make the show work because it's
change
no
the title.
money.
Yeah, Who Wants to Be
fixed.
a 50 trillionaire?
Who Wants to Be a gazillionaire?
Yeah, the top prize, meaningless, so they have canned the show altogether. They've got some issues.
Yeah.
Including an earthquake that hit Venezuela this morning to the tune of 7.3 magnitude.
That's very serious.
Yes, they are having some serious issues.
It's God.
Star Wars actor Adam Driver is...
Wait, say that again?
Star Wars actor Adam Driver.
Oh, they said director.
Adam Driver presently in that new movie Black Klansman.
Yeah.
And he has given an interview to USA Today where actor Adam Driver says he grew up in northern Indiana and realizes, especially upon reflection, how much racism there was, including KKK members that he had as neighbors. Now, there was a KKK rally in South Bend, Indiana in 2001. Adam Driver was a teenager. They said there were several different rallies, and that while it's got a waning presence, there are more hate groups popping up in their place.
There's no pictures of him attending a rally as a kid or anything, right?
He's saying...
That's what I was thinking this is going towards.
No, he says, I realized that this was in my neighborhood growing up, and there were always KKK rallies every summer, is what he said. He was not a participant. Idris Elba got us all excited that he was going to be the...
He doesn't have to do that to excite me. I love that man.
He had sent out a tweet saying, my name's Elba, Idris Elba, which got everyone thinking, oh, he's totally James Bond.
Yeah.
Well, this morning he was asked by a reporter flat out, are you the next James Bond? And he said, no.
Oh,
I'm
bastard. You should be sorry. Not you. He should be sorry. He led me on.
Yep, I'm sad. Sorry. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Sure.
The Mariners lost to the Houston Astros 3-2 last night. On the bright side, we turned a franchise record 6 double plays in the game.
6 double plays in one game. I remember freaking out about the triple play because I didn't really understand how it works and stuff.
Yeah.
At least I can wrap my head around. That's got to happen infrequently. That many in a game. I mean, even a double play in a game is probably fairly rare.
Yeah, the team had never done it before.
Amazing.
And today, the Mariners turn it around, playing the Houston Astros again with a 1:10 start time on Root Sports. Marco Gonzalez versus Charlie Morton.
Have to rack up 7 double plays today to win that game, apparently.
Well, if the smoke is bothersome to you and you do not want to attend a Mariners game today that you have tickets for, they are doing an exchange program, so you could go to the box office and trade your tickets in for an upcoming game if you're concerned about your health and the air quality here in Seattle. And in Seahawks news, running back J.D. McKissick has a fracture in his left foot, is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks.
Ooh.
Pete Carroll says second-year wide receiver Amara Darba is getting a clavicle injury checked out.
Those are bad. I broke my collarbone, which I think is the same thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And they gave me this stupid little brace. It's all they did. It looks like a figure 8, and it just pulls your shoulders back in your chest and gives you perfect posture. And after about a day or two, I really wanted to take a shower and turn it off, so I took the thing off that looked like it was doing nothing. I thought they were making fun of me in some weird way. And I took it off, and I couldn't support my own weight. I just fell down to the floor and couldn't get back up. My girlfriend or wife or whoever it was at the time had to come back. Oh, it was high school. My girlfriend at the time, Scott, had to come back in and help me put it back on so I could stand up.
When I broke my clavicle, they didn't give me anything. They said, just don't do anything. Don't raise your arms over your head. Try washing your hair without being able to raise your arms over your head.
No, I won't do that.
That's painful. And former NFL offensive lineman Richie Incognito back in trouble. He was at
Shocking.
He was at
It's weird that they can even recognize him.
Scottsdale,
I
Arizona.
get it.
He was at a funeral home where his father's body was being held and apparently began acting erratically. They said he was making his hand into the shape of a gun and told employees he had a truck full of guns in the parking lot.
Wow.
Which I believe about that guy.
Yeah. This is all a reaction to them saying your dad's going to be interred. And he said, what'd you call my dad? And then everybody went crazy.
Well, they don't know why he was acting so erratically, but they called police, and guess what they found in his truck?
Guns.
Truck full of guns?
Truck full of guns.
Truck full of guns.
2 Glocks, a hand silencer, and 3 rifles.
The hell is a hand silencer?
A handgun silencer.
Because he was holding his hand up like
a
in
gun.
the shape
That's
of
what I
a
was
gun.
thinking. This
He
guy
wants to make sure it's not loud.
He's taking his imaginary gun to the limits by buying his finger a silencer.
They said he was acting very erratically.
Yeah.
And on the heels of a massive fight between fans at the Oakland Raiders' second preseason game, an announcement has been made about the future home of the Silver and Black.
Well, first of all, let me just say, at a preseason game, if a fight breaks out, you should just kind of fake your punches. You don't want to hurt anybody. It's preseason.
When the team moves to Las Vegas, they are going to have a jail and a courtroom to deal with any on-site difficulties.
As weird as it sounds, not that weird. Look at all your arenas built. Certainly, I'll be safe and say by 2000, all have a jail and a courthouse inside them.
Yeah.
Well, the most famous one was in Philly because of how much use it got.
Yeah.
But for a brand new stadium, it's raising a lot of eyebrows.
Yeah, but it's Vegas, Vegas, baby, and the and Raiders fans.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
It makes total sense.
And congratulations to Brianna Stewart from the Seattle Storm. She is the Associated Press WNBA Player of the Year.
Oh, that's great.
She had a great season. And that is your sports, brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We've got a big show coming up tomorrow.
We do?
We do.
Am I going to be here?
No, actually.
I hate hearing this. My card key was a lot of trouble to get in this morning. I thought, that's it. They let me go.
We are going to give you another chance to win that Duke's Seafood and Chowder $100 gift card.
Yeah, $720.
We got Mariners tickets.
A filthy forecast.
Filthy forecast at $750. That's just the tip. That's the tip, my friends.
It's just the tip. I'll tell you what, there's a little more going on. You know that 6'4" tall drink of water, Scott
Danny
Vanderpool.
Bonaduce. Oh, Scott Vanderpool.
Oh, Scott Vanderpool.
5'6" cover. You're still thirsty after having me with Vanderpool. Vanderpool, 6'4", beautiful, tall drink of water.
Yeah.
It's his birthday today.
It is. Happy birthday, Scott.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Scott Vanderpool. Happy birthday to you. And you know what I got you, Scott Vanderpool, for your birthday?
What?
I got you the right and the privilege of working with Steve Slayton.
Oh, what a great gift.
I know.
To be honest.
And it's the gift that keeps on giving. And Steve Slayton's going to walk into this room any second now. He's going to play a bunch of classic rock and roll for your listening pleasure. We will get out of his way. Bye.